I'll call this Bang Bang.
Listen.
Seriously?
Oh, here we go.
Bang, bang.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Bang, bang.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Get fucked. Okay.
Bang, bang.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Bang, bang.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Listen, he's not my guy.
Bang, bang.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Bang, bang.
But the thing is this. I'm a YouTube content creator. Trust me.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Okay?
Bang, bang.
Let me get these cash apps because these are important.
Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Okay?
Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Okay?
Bang, bang.
𝗃𝗍𝗂𝗃 𝗀𝗄 is history.
My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtle Boy.
He is a senior editor for Turtle Boy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtle Boy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
Did you not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby?
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
you.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never gonna stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Boys, go baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the singing, should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wildin'. You must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom. You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace, working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep. It's go, 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 go time.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hold on. Hold on.
I was just talking to myself, wasn't I? All right, hold on. This is all fucked up. I've got a million messages right now saying no sound. Hold on. I got to fix this. Hold on. All right, give me 1 sec. Jam this operation. All right, that's plugged in. All right, what the fuck's going on here? We're a little crazy today, a little bootleg. Hold on. Hopefully that remains. And then that goes down. All right, that works. Now, let me try. What the fuck's not plugged in? Is this plugged in? That's in. That's in. That's in. What's over here? Time out. Hold on. All right, that's plugged in. That's plugged in. What the fuck's going on here? Is this on? Oh, there we go. Okay, look. I'm going to try to fix it. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hold on. 1 sec. I'm going to use my new mic here. Okay, is this on? Does that work now? Can you guys hear me nice and clear? Did I fix it? Awesome. The bootleg studio is back in business. Okay, cool. All right, guys. I probably should have done that beforehand. But we got a lot going on here right now. A lot going on in the Turtle Boy world. The drama world, too. It just never ends. Like, we could talk about some of that stuff, too. But if you're new here, guys, my name is Aidan Kearney. Okay, we start over. Aidan Kearney, that's my name. You can call me Clarence with Emerson. That's what I go by on Facebook. You can call me Uncle Turtle Boy, like old school turtle riders are known to do. You can call me Dr. Turtle Boy. I actually prefer that. You know, I was standing on High Street in Dedham today, and a bunch of people just drove by and said, Doctor. And I said, that's me. I'm the doctor. So I appreciate that. You can call me Daddy if you'd like. I will allow it. I will allow that. I will not require it or mandate it, but I will allow it. You can call me 𝗃𝗄𝗃 if you prefer. That's my pen name. All right. That's my douchebag name. It's 𝗃𝗄𝗃. But I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. sharp, and make sure you smash that subscribe button. And give us a thumbs up afterwards and leave a comment and all that good stuff. And we'll be just fine and dandy. So do that. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. All right. And if anybody wants their message read out loud to the class tonight, you can have your special message read. You just got to click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, and you can donate or give whatever amount of money you want. And then when you do that, I will get a notification. And you get to write whatever message you want with your Dono, and I will read your message out loud to the class. Okay. But before we do that, let me just address a couple of things here. Okay. So the other day on my show, I think I started off by talking about, the fundraiser for Karen Reed that I went to the other night in Fall River. And, I said how, kind of tackled the elephant in the room, how some people felt like they were, that they should have been invited. You know what I mean? And my statement on that, and I still feel the same way, is that your feelings are valid, because I've been there before. You know what I mean? Like, some people have compared it to like, oh, it's like not getting invited to. a birthday party or whatever when you're a kid. It's like, but that shit still sucked, didn't it? When you were like, it still sucked, right? And so like my philosophy with that is just let people be upset. You know what I mean? Like let them be, they have a right to be upset. Like not at anyone else, but just like I would get it too. I would totally feel like I wish I was there because it was fun. It was fun. Like picture you being somebody, and I'm not blaming anyone for this. I'm not saying that they should have been invited because it's not my party. I have no business telling anyone who shouldn't be invited. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not going to say that their feelings are invalid, right? Like if they want to, like if the part that would bother me if I was them was like, I go out, I've been to especially the people that went like every day, what they call themselves, I think, boots on the ground, the people that are like outside every day protesting. And there's a bunch of them. It's kind of I don't know how we define it because there's like a lot of them, and it's like, how do we decide who gets in for like, who's above who here? Like, do you have to be there every day? Can you be there 4 days a week? Can you be like, you know what I mean? It's like you get into some tricky shit there when you figure out like who is, more deserving than others or whatever. And I don't, but I will say like, I get it. Like imagine being in their shoes and like, you go to all this shit every day and then you don't even know this thing's happening. And then you find out about it the next day on Twitter because everyone's posting their pictures and it looks like a lot of fun because it was a lot of fun. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had a fucking blast. Right. And like, it was fun, And so if you're in their position and you're like, well, that looks like fucking fun. You know what I mean? Like I would have loved to go to that. That looks like a lot of fun, right? That looks like a really cool time. And I've been out here every day protesting and supporting the cause and blah, blah, blah. And even though that's not why I'm doing it, I'm not doing it so that I get an invite. It still would have been fucking cool, to go to something like that. And I think that's a normal feeling to have. And so my philosophy is just let them be, you know what I mean? Like I think that's a perfectly valid way to feel, I think it goes too far when, people do like what one individual has done, who I'm not even going to name them right now. I think I saw a lot of you talking about them earlier in the comments. Like that's too far. That's too far. What's happening there? Like everybody else, I think their comments are perfectly valid. Like, and I'm not going to lie. It was noticeably different outside the courthouse. There was like a lot of us. There was like 80, 100 people there probably supporting Karen Reed there, whatever. But like a lot of the usuals who I am just so used to seeing there and who I enjoy seeing and who are morale builders, right? They're not there. So I would be lying if I said it wasn't the same. Or it was the same. My budget. It wasn't the same. I'd be lying if I said it was the same. I'd be lying if I said that they weren't missed. They were. It was good today, but it did feel like a little something was missing, So my philosophy on this is, and the way I view this is, yeah, they're all like, they'll be back. Okay. Just, they're pissed off for the moment, not pissed off, but they just, like a lot of them are the type of people that wouldn't say something publicly because they don't want to start shit. You know what I mean? So my thing is just let them be upset. Like it's okay. They're allowed to be, people are allowed to be upset. People are allowed to feel left out, especially when they have contributed a lot to what we call the movement. You know what I mean? Like I appreciate them there. And that's why every day, you guys might not notice it, I'm kind of like a man of the people. I guess I'm the leader of this whole thing, you could call it, but I'll never forget my roots. Okay. And that's why every day, rain or shine, during that trial, I made sure that I was there in the morning. And while the rest of the people were standing in the press line, that I was walking around. Okay. And I was saying hello to people and I was thanking them for being there. And anyone who knows me, who attended those protests during the trial or any of the other stuff knows that I was there every day too. And I wasn't just in the media line. Like I was out there with you fine people. Right. And I didn't even want to be, I remember the verdict watch. I was like, should I be outside with the people or inside? I don't know. Where should I be? You know? So like, I think that both sides, but what both people are saying, what both sides are saying are valid. And I'm not a fan of dismissing the way these people feel because I've been there before. You know, I was not allowed I wasn't invited to the trial. Now there was only 10 seats to go to the trial. Right. So it was actually a lot more exclusive to be invited to the trial. So if you're one of the people who was invited to the trial, like you're even more exclusive than anyone. Like you got to go, you're on TV, you know, you got to witness history. You got to see the jury. You know, no one else even knows what the jury looks like. You got to see the jury. That's the kind of a cool part about being in there. You get to see the faces of the people who got to decide Karen Read's fate. And no one else got to do that. That's fucking cooler than going to the fundraiser. I hate to say it. That's much cooler. That's much more exclusive. Right. So I was not allowed that. And I wasn't allowed in, or not allowed in, but like, I don't know if that's the right word. I was not invited in, and I understand the reasons why, because they're trying to put this woman in jail for the rest of her life, and they would love to tie me to her. Right. Because the whole purpose of charging me was to make it difficult to be associated with me. Right. That's the whole purpose of charging me with these crimes. Oh, that guy, he's charged with witness intimidation. He's a bad guy. He's a felon. Oh, she's associated with a felon? Well, she sucks too. You know, like that was the whole purpose. And so I was upset because I'm a person. I'm a human. You know what I mean? And I'm not a criminal. And I've never assaulted a woman. Right. And here I am. And I went to jail for 60 days because some lying, horrible skank made up a lie about assault and battery, which has since been dropped. And that damages your reputation like a lot, like assault, hitting a woman, like, whoa, nobody wants to be involved with that. And so like, I felt like when I was not allowed, when I was not invited in, you know, offered one of those 10 Cs, which I would have gotten one of those had I never been charged, you know, I was not invited in. And I felt like, it's just like, well, I have this like scarlet letter on me now, you know, because of this lie. Like I am too toxic to be associated with because I'm an alleged batterer, you know, and that like, trust me. So the pain that you're feeling right now by not getting invited, amplify that times 10 when you went to jail and then you're labeled as a domestic and you're not allowed in because you might be viewed as a domestic batterer. Like, so whatever, you know what I mean? Feelings that you have, just, I get it because I've been there before. And I will tell you from experience that one of the things that I regret the most, and I do regret some things, is how I handled it. Right. I took it out on the Roccos. I did. And because I was like, you know, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but I just viewed it as, I'm like, well, you know, Nick Rocker was on Court TV. And by the way, he did a great job defending me of all people tonight on Court TV. And I just viewed it as, I'm like, I would be on there if I wasn't falsely accused of domestic violence. Like, that's the reason I'm not on. Like, all this shit was taken away from me. All these opportunities, because this is my livelihood, you know, all these opportunities were taken away from me because of this false claim that I went to jail for. So I just felt like the punishment of going to jail continued after I got out of jail, if that makes sense. Right. So, yeah. And I wish I never said anything. Like, I didn't like make a huge thing out of it, but I definitely made comments. I didn't do like a whole show or write an article on or anything like that, but I made comments and people picked up and people listen when I talk. Right. And I wish I could go back in time and not say those things. Right. I wish I could have just kept my mouth shut. Is like, because I regret saying shit sometimes too. So I wish I could go back time and not do those things. Right. And so that's what I would urge the people who, the boots on the ground, as we call them, who were not given the invite. I understand that you're upset, but just, if I've been in your position 6 months ago and I regret saying things. Right. And so I would just urge them, just, it'll go, you know what I mean? Just, we'll move on to the next thing. This will all be forgotten. And when this is over, right, When this is over, we're going to have the best fucking party. You know what I mean? We're going to have the best fucking party ever. So, okay. So this is true. This is true because I hope so. And like, I am literally going to have the biggest party. We're going to call it the boots on the ground party, and, like, it's just going to be like boots on the ground, get VIP, period. And I'm going to have like 50 of you people, like, just on the it's going to be dope. It's going to be like the boots on the ground rodeo. We're going to call it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fucking Mad Dog 2020s, and it's going to be real awesome. So it's going to be great. So, but we'll figure that out. I'm going to take care of you guys when this is all said and done, and it's going to be made right. Okay. So thank you for clearing that up, Meredith. So, I'm very glad that's not her. Okay. So this is a rumor that I think that is spreading in the comments that Rita is on 𝗃𝗄𝗆's channel making comments, that are, negative towards free Karen Reed people. It's not her. That's what I'm hearing now, that this is not her on that channel. So that's very good to hear, because that would have been very disappointing. So I'm glad that was cleared up. Okay. So yeah, I just hope that when this is all said and done, and you know what, this whole thing just brings out, it's stressful, man. It brings out the worst in everyone. Like, it's been going on too long. Like, it's just a lot of pressure, and we all have one thing that we ultimately want, and that's justice, man. Justice for John O'Keefe and justice for Karen Reed. And it's very aggravating that the bad guys continue to be free. They'll never get away with it. Okay. And there was an awesome tweet by 𝗃𝗄𝗄𝗆 the other day. And, I almost wanted to retweet it and be like, I fucking love this tweet. It's like one of my favorite tweets I ever read. It was something to the extent of Karen, she was so mad. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, let me see if I can find this tweet. I don't know if I shared it during the show. 𝗃𝗄𝗄𝗆. All right, let's see if we can find her. Because she's so mad about this. She's like one of these. All right. What is her Twitter name? @MamaLlama? Is that it? Oh, there it is. Okay. Found her. Because she's like one of these pearl clutchers that like pretends to get so mad. It's great. She gets so mad. Like, it's like her and Julie Carpenter are my favorites because they just get so mad about it. And they just like oh my God, and the pearl clutching. Meanwhile, they're hanging out with crusty panties. Like, that's all you need to know. You guys hang out with like literally the person whose claim to fame is abusing children, losing them to the state, and being the most repugnant person on the internet, like intentionally. Like, she'll probably admit that much. So it's like, it's just funny hearing, from you guys, it's just fucking a wild thing. But I love it. I love how she gets so upset. It's repugnant. Justice for John O'Keefe is coming. Yeah, sure it is. Right. It is like justice for John O'Keefe is coming because of us. And because when Brian Albert and Jennifer McCabe are locked up like the animals that they are, then we will have justice for John O'Keefe. Okay. But all right. And so like this is what this person's a psycho. So this is why it's like wasn't a fan of just the public airing of this. Is you guys just gives fuel to the trolls. You know what I mean? I wasn't a fan of it. And I also, let me say this as well. So like my guy BLT and Mike Crawford, they did some posts about it. I think Mike did a video. BLT did a post. Like a lot of people did posts, and I think everyone made good points. Okay, I think everybody's right. But I can also understand, like, if I was one of the boots on the ground people, and I wasn't invited, and I see BLT or Mike Crawford make a post saying, we shouldn't be focused on who's invited and who's not invited. You know what I mean? I'd be like, well, that's easy for you to say because you got invited. You know what I mean? Like the people that weren't invited probably don't want to get lectured by the people who were invited. See what I'm saying? Like, I think everybody needs to put themselves in the shoes of the other people, if that makes sense. Okay. Except Sean of the Gulf. Sean of the Gulf can go fuck himself. Like, Sean of the Gulf is fucking a horrible person, but also hilarious to laugh at. So, you know, it's like one of those. So I think we can all agree on that. Fuck Sean of the Gulf. Okay. I think we all agree on that. Anyway, let's see, but I want to find this 𝗃𝗄𝗯𝗃 tweet because it was a good one. It was my look how tall Mazza Media is. What are they? Oh, this one. Karen Reed deliberately chose to completely evade accountability for the death of 𝗺𝗄𝗃 and working in collaboration with her. Oh my God, who's gonna read all this? What a great picture that is. I love this picture. Because he's so tall. That's an awesome picture. Anyway, what else do we have here? But I'm looking, it's a good one. Oh, they're so mad about this too. That Karen signed a poster that they're raffling off. The trolls are really mad about this. Like, first of all, it wasn't her idea. I think the Las Vegas cop guys are doing this. Like it's raising money. Why wouldn't you? Like, this is a great idea. If people are willing to auction it off or whatever it was, you know, it's not like BLT made this poster. This is an excellent poster, you know, and if it can raise money for her, great. And it makes them mad, which is something else that I love. I love when they get mad. I don't know why. It fuels me seeing how upset these idiots are, you know? Okay. Like, what is this? Like, who the fuck is who is making all this? Holy shit. Imagine having the time to make a graphic like this and not get paid for it. At least I get paid for what I do. These people, look at these people. Look at this whole. I never thought when I was a high school teacher that like there would just be legions of people out there whose entire existence, you know, revolves around just not liking me and making collages of my greatest hits. I was a high school teacher. Like the only people that didn't like me are the kids that, you know, they didn't do their homework, and I gave them like a D- or something. Like they weren't fans of me, but they were too lazy to make something like this. Like, this is impressive. I don't even know what this is, but I love it. I fucking love it, man. There's this one. Oh, this is the tweet. I want to hang this tweet in the Louvre. Look at this tweet. This tweet. I say that a lot of things make me hard and come in my pants, but this is like, I loved this one, man. This was a good one. Okay. Hashtag Karen Reed. Last night, the Reed family spent the evening raising money alongside those who dedicate all their time to destroying 𝗺𝗄𝗃's family and engaging and encouraging witness intimidation and harassment. So I definitely don't approve of witness intimidation and harassment, but what these people call witness intimidation and harassment isn't actually witness intimidation and harassment. So it's okay to laugh at that because she's not actually talking about. So I actually like this. I like what they consider witness intimidation. I don't like witness intimidation, but I like what they consider it. Does that make sense? Like, because they call everything witness intimidation, including exposing them and calling them cop killers, right? Because that's what they are. They're cop killers, right? These McAlberts, they killed a cop, right? And so I enjoy watching them get upset about this. I genuinely enjoy it. And then she goes, last night, the Reed family spent the evening raising money. The O'Keefes, Jen McCabe, Brian Albert, and Colin Albert can't leave their house without being harassed and gawked at. And then I have no words. And then they blame me. But again, these guys are cops, by the way. They're like real cops in a real city. So, like, are they involved in witness intimidation or the Las Vegas? How have they not called like the chief of police in Las Vegas? And like, I demand your officers be fired for witness intimidation. They'd probably tell them to fuck themselves. We have real problems. It's Vegas, baby. You know? I love it. Like, they're just like, this is a great moment, and they're so mad about it. They're just so mad about it. And I love it because I'm like, oh, you have no idea how flattering that tweet is. Like, I love that tweet because you're complaining here that Karen Reed is happy and we're happy. We're all happy. Like, our happiness is what makes them so mad. Our happiness and raising money. We raised like 10 G's probably for Karen Reed that night. Right. And that's going to be spent on, new lawyers and new whatever. Like, by the way, we're going to talk about this new dream team. Karen Reed has assembled it. I can't fucking wait for the second trial. Oh my God. We're going to talk about that. But, reading this tweet, it's like, you guys are so mad about our happiness. And you're like, well, and Brian Albert, you list probably the three least likable people on that side, maybe besides Chris. Brian Albert, Jennifer McCabe, and Colin Albert can't leave their house without being harassed and gawked at. Now, harassment, I don't condone. Okay. But what is happening to them isn't harassment. Like, people are asking them questions. Gawked at, I'm here for it. I'm here for gawked at. Like, yes, that, like, Kerry, you have no idea how happy this tweet makes me. This is my favorite tweet of all time. Like, thank you. Gawked at? Like, when they go out in public, the fact that Jennifer McCabe, whenever she walks into a restaurant, now Colin probably doesn't think about this at all because he's completely oblivious to all this, clearly, but because he's just too stupid. He's also like 20, probably 21 years old now. It's just so funny listening to him call. He's a child. But okay, yeah, sure he is. Anyway, so it makes me happy to know that whenever Jennifer McCabe goes into a restaurant, right, with her family or alone, whatever, that she has to look around at the sea of people there and just think, who knows who I am in here? Who in this room thinks that I'm a cop killer? Because the odds are at least 25% of the people there, if not more. Like, she's real famous. We made him real famous, and rightfully so. Like, millions of people know who Jennifer McCabe is and believe that she was involved in the murder of John O'Keefe. Millions of people. Because she Googled how long to die in cold at 2:27 a.m. And that's a fact that she did that. It's not an opinion. It's a provable, established fact that a Quantico trained FBI specialist, as part of the investigation into Michael Morrissey's office, determined point blank, done. She Googled that. So that makes me happy that Jennifer McCabe has to walk into a restaurant and just worry, like, am I being gawked at? Like, what does that person think? Oh my God, there she is. Oh my God. Yeah. And I was happy. Like, I will say this about Brian Albert. The only nice thing I'll say about him is that he is handling this situation appropriately. His family is the only one that is handling this situation appropriately, except for Tristan. He's part of the family now. But besides Tristan, they're all handling it appropriately. What did they do? They got the fuck out of Canton. They moved. See ya. I ain't sticking around here. When they go out to, Brendan's football games at Bridgewater State, they put their head down when people take selfies. Not Jennifer McCabe though. And that's what offended me and everyone else about Jennifer McCabe and about, Chris Albert, is that they walked around like nothing was wrong with huge smiles on their faces. That's what pissed people off about that. And that's what upset people. If they all acted like Brian Albert, I never would have done any, like, I never would have asked them any questions. I'd be like, oh, well, they're hermits. Because I didn't know where Brian Albert was ever. Notice I never ambushed, or whatever they want to call it, ambush journalism, Brian Albert. That never happened. Because Brian Albert and Brian Higgins. Brian Higgins handled it even better than all of them. He moved it to Sandwich. So he doesn't even hang out with them. That's, if you commit a murder and everyone knows you committed a murder, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to walk around acting like you're king shit of Canton still. Like everybody knows it. And that's what offended me about this is when I first wrote about this case, everybody knew what they did. And I'm just like, wait, they're just walking around like none of this is happening. Well, that's wild. Let's fucking ask them some questions. They since they like go out in public so much, let's ask them some questions. That's the way I viewed it. So anyway, that's my rant about that. Let me read some turtle chats. ABC Juice sends $25 and says, "Sup, doctor? Public service announcement. Warning, do not drink Auntie Bev's cunt juice. Ooh. Side effects of ABC Juice includes haircuts with bangs, severe bias against the FKR movement, Plevinisms, and leakage. Testimony from Plevin. I drank the ABC Juice and immediately changed my view on Karen's innocence and now create spins on the FKR movement." So it's the cunt juice that did it. Interesting. Thank you very much. Okay. Brittany sends $8 and says, "This is what Phelps is talking about. On the Ring website, it says the typical maximum motion detection range is 30 feet, but larger scale objects like vehicles might create an alert further away. I have come across Ring cameras that seem to see further than 30 feet. Yeah, I mean, I've literally done many articles about showing hit and runs and other things that happen that are caught on Ring camera videos from more than 30 feet away. Like Ring camera videos, more than what you see, it's the sound. The sound of a Ring camera, like if there is any sort of collision on a Ring camera video, it amplifies the sound. It's like even when cars drive by, it makes a sound. The spinning of wheels, whew, that especially makes it. And that was definitely happening if Karen Reed went 24 miles an hour in reverse and struck John O'Keefe. There would be a massive thud. It's like, are you kidding me? It's just so stupid. The more I think about it, the dumber you have to be to believe that this, that they were involved in actually doing this. Okay. Karen Reed was actually involved in doing this. That's what you can't even fathom. Thank you. So, Mrs. Sabah donates 100 big ones. Ooh, big spenders. Thank you very much, Mrs. Sabah. She says, "Sup, Unc? So look it, my husband just surprised me with a ready to duck mug from your merch store. Now I'm forced to one-up him with a special shout out from the doctor himself. Please wish a happy anniversary to Chris Halo, the love of my life and my everything. Pull up, bitch. KO. Bang, bang. I love you. Free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy." Well, thank you very much, Mrs. Sabat, and I hope hope you guys have a great anniversary. That's a good anniversary gift right there. Turtle Boy telling your husband to pull up, bitch. So there's that. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me refresh these. Oh, by the way, I'm also available at Cash App, guys, at Dollar Store Uncle Turtle Boy. Okay, let's see. Iceman 2.0 sends $10 and says, "Dr. Turtleboy, I was ticked when Auntie Bev said to Eliza Little, this is a new trial, suggesting new evidence and theories for the Commonwealth is okay. Will the Commonwealth be allowed to present a different theory and facts to the case? And if so, does that mean the Dream Team cannot bring up the previous trial evidence in Commonwealth theory?" It's a great question. Thanks for fantastic journalism. Hashtag journalism Jesus. Hashtag FKR. A lawyer would know how to answer that better than me. I've often thought that, like, wait a minute. If a witness says something that contradicts something they said at the previous trial, are they going to be allowed to bring that up? Like, what if they don't call Proctor as a witness in this trial? Can the defense reference his text messages if they don't call him up as a witness? What if they just call up 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 and say, well, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 was with them for everything, so we'll just have 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 testify, something like that. I hope so, but you never know with Auntie Bev. And you're right. The fact that she kept saying that today about, like, this is a new trial. Okay. All right. Thank you. Loudmouth sends $10 and goes, "Phelpsy mid BJ. Don't use your tooth, Jen." Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Katie says, I don't get it, but okay. Oh, right. Okay. Katie sends $10 and goes, "Prayers for Lauren, R.I.P. Lulu, aka Pickles." Yeah, horrible. I don't even want to talk about that. It's R.I.P. Pickles. That's all I'm going to say with that. Thank you very much. Jennifer sends $20 and says, sending love from Idaho. Thank you for your work on this very important situation. Before the trial, I kept hearing about this lady who was being charged with killing her cop boyfriend. And maybe she did or maybe she didn't. I decided to look into it, but I had no idea where to start. I also didn't want to be led astray by someone with an agenda. I found your videos and microdots and felt like I was getting the facts. I then became obsessed, so thank you. P.S. I love your closet baby story. You know, it really wasn't. You mean when I kept keeping the light? I'd never wanted to turn the light on when I went to the bathroom because the closet baby would be, Mom. Go back to sleep, closet baby. Go away. Shut up, closet baby. Okay. So thank you for that one, Jennifer. I appreciate that. Okay, next one. But again, I'm happy that you got your facts from Microdots and Turtle Boy because it's the best source of information. Thank you. Cybercheck sends $25. Goes, Turtle Boy, you are humble. Most of the other content creators have been over the top. You all should have just kept it under wraps. Well, that's not going to happen. The over the top postings have turned people off. By the way, I have no skin in the game. Hashtag FKR. You know, it's a delicate thing, Cybercheck, and I get it. I get how not being invited there, every time you see the pictures, you're going to get more upset about it, right? But at the same time, like, it's unrealistic to be like, well, we're just not going to, no one's going to post pictures about this. Of course, people are going to post pictures about it. And I do think it was good for morale. It was very good for morale for those pictures to be posted. And again, if I were those people, again, I'll say it before. I said it before. I'll say it again. I think their feelings are valid, but I think if I were them, I would just, swallow it. It's a tough pill to swallow. I know. But just come back stronger. You know what I mean? And my party is going to be way better at the end of this anyway. It's going to be way doper. It's not going to be a Fall River. Okay. So there's that. All right. Thank you. Next one. Lacey sends $10, goes, I got a LinkedIn notification that the Commonwealth is hiring a new government affairs director, a lobbyist. What do I do? You think they'll take me? Anyway, this is one of a few donos, but I'll be sending you a business message on X tomorrow regarding my pre-Turtle Boy show on Thursday nights. So let me know once you read it. Thanks, buddy. Lacey. Okay. I appreciate that, Lacey. Thank you very much. DW sends $25 and goes, happy Buffalo Chicken Dip Day, Unc. Oh, thank you. I celebrate privately. What are acceptable vessels to scoop the dip? Do celery and carrots count? No. I mean, you could, I guess, but you got to go bread, some bread or some, I like club crackers. Those club brand crackers. Those are good too. So, but whatever you like, it's your Buffalo Chicken Dip. Eat it raw for all I care. Just fucking put that in my veins. Buffalo Chicken Dip. It's the best. Okay. Next. Brittany sends $8 and says, this is what Phelps is taught. No, we already read that one. Okay. All right. Let me read some Cash Apps here. And then we'll start watching some of this coverage. What does this say? All right, cool. Let's see. Cash App. All right. Stephanie sends $20 and has said her comment is it's the turkey. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Sinead sends $10 and goes, did Helena hijack the police audit? I don't know what's going on with that. But hopefully not. Thank you, Sinead. Nicole sends $20 and goes, thank you, Daddy, for all that you do. Hashtag bang, bang. I appreciate that, Nicole. And happy Thanksgiving to you as well. Okay. Brian sends $5 and goes, we don't need any division within this movement. Free Karen Reed. There we go. Awesome. Gina sends $10 and goes, justice for Karen and exposing the corruption. Thank you, Gina. Deanne sends $25 and goes, still waiting for a show with you and Spicy Meredith. I don't want to make Meredith part of the content. You know what I mean? I like to keep, I don't want to be that guy that does that. I like to have, personal and business life separate. I don't want her to be perceived as that, and I don't want to make her content. So for that reason, obviously we met through this whole thing, you know what I mean? And that's what I like about her. It's one of the big things I like about her is that she's real into this same shit that I am, going to court. Of course she's going to be there, So There's that. Okay, cool. Kathleen sends $25 on Turtle Chat and says, "Hey, Unc, please get Jen Altman under control. She just timed me out because I said people have a right to comment. How do you know it was her? Do you get to see which mod timed you out? That's interesting. Everyone's opinion should be posted without Jen constantly disagreeing over the same subject matter or timing people out. It is ridiculous. Most moderators do a great job." Okay. If I had a dime for every time I had to put out a fire involving Jennifer Altman, I'd be a very rich man. And again, I don't know the details of this. I was paid $25 to read that, so I read it. I can't comment on something I don't know much about. But if you're timed out, that means you'll get back in, right? So let's have some good discourse in the comments and have a good time tonight. Let's do it. All right. Iceman 2.0 sends $10 and goes, "Dr. Turtleboy, I was ticked when Auntie Bev said to Eliza Little." Oh, no, we already were done. Okay, cool. If anyone else wants their message read, you click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. Okay. So we got to get to two things tonight. We got to get to what happened in court today, and then we got to get to the Phelps shit. I mean, not the Phelps, the Valentinas thing, because boy, did he have a meltdown. Okay. Couple things. I think I have some videos here that I haven't shared yet. Let's see. Oh, so I say hello to the I'm big into being polite. I'm always going to say hello. They don't say hello back though. You know who gave me like the stare of death today was whatchamacallit, Crazy Tara, the one that lost at Sea John. Like, she got escorted across the street by 3 state troopers. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. And people who were there saw this. She like grilled me, and I'm like, "Hi." I just wave at them and say hi now. That's all I do. So this is me greeting them on the way into court, because this is not witness intimidation if you're being polite. You just got to be polite.
Okay, hold on. Quiet.
Look at Tara Kerrigan. Look at her staring at me.
Good morning.
So mad. She's so mad. Good morning.
Good morning, Jill.
That's Jill Harrison Thomas. She loves me.
Good morning, Paul.
No, they don't say hi back.
Good morning, Jackie.
Look at that one. Yeah, look at that. What's this?
Good morning, Jackie.
She didn't know it was me. Well, look at her. Look at Jackie Chinless. Oh man, she's so mad. I've escorted her to her car so many times.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Jackie.
Immediately looks away. That was like Lanka. That was like Lanka at the Patriots game when I was there. And I'm like, "Hey, Lanka." And he looks at me and I'm like, you didn't know who I was. I'm like, "It's Aidan." He's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Turtle Boy." He's like, no. He just walked away. It was great. Anyway, I'm just saying hello. And again, here's the Smurfs. So they greet the Smurfs on their way in.
A little awkward.
There's a couple Smurfs there.
Yeah, she didn't even say hello, but I'll still be polite. Good morning.
That guy sucks. And they said, watch, people say hi to Mr. O'Keefe. Oh, and then this guy. We got to talk about this guy for a minute. I don't want to be insensitive, but I think that man has leprosy. I thought we got rid of it. It was like Robert the Bruce's dad from Braveheart. Remember that guy? That's him. That's Robert the Bruce's dad from Braveheart. "You disappointed me, son. You could have been rich and have a castle, but you want to stay with this Braveheart guy. Not good. That's not good. You'll never get a castle if you do that. Dad, I don't even love you. You made me sell out, Dad. You made me do it." That guy. That's him. That's the guy. That's Robert the Bruce's dad from Braveheart. I swear to God, that was him. Or maybe Riccio rose from the dead. I don't know. But Look at, there he is. That's Robert the Bruce's dad. That's him. There he is.
You're all right.
See,
that's
they,
so nice.
They said hello to Mr. O'Keefe. He waved at us.
Nice.
On the
We're
way
going in. Kenny, flat-chested women. Kenny, there he is. Love him.
That's Kenny from Twitter. He loves flat-chested women.
Loves them flat-chested women.
That's him.
Yeah, I know. He looks like he's got left.
So they're allowed to come in because they're with the family. So they got like, and that's why I don't like Peggy and Paul O'Keefe. Because like if I'm Peggy and Paul O'Keefe, I'm like, I do not want to be associated with these ratchets outside. I don't want to be associated with Kenny, the flat-chested woman lover from Twitter. That guy is not the guy playing the Balloon Knot song. We're not down with that. And that's why they're no better than all people being so mean to us. Because you suck. Because look at who you're hanging out with. Look who you are associating with. Like, you suck. I'm not going to be like you're a nice person. Anyway, so that's how we greeted them. Do I have another video here? I think we might have another one. I don't know if I viewed all these. Oh, so this is who's marching in here? Is this the Reed team when they came in? Who's? Oh yeah, so they got some new guys on the Reed team. There's Karen.
How are we feeling today? Good. Great. Awesome. Excellent. Excellent.
So these two sharp. See these two? So I'm like, who are these? Because I'm like, who are these guys? Watch.
Hi guys, you guys are new. Nice to see you. Welcome to the team, whoever you are. You're on the right side of history. Excellent.
So I had a chance to speak to this guy afterwards, to the male, and his name is Evan, and he is a law school student at Boston College. And I'm told that they have several law school students now from not just BC, but another school that are on the Reed team, because I interviewed him. And I'm like, that's the thing about it, is if you're curious, you can just ask. And that's what reporters do. They just ask questions. They're like, so who are you? And his name's Evan, and he's a Boston College law school student. So that's why I mean, the Reed team this time around is not fucking around. Like, they're here to work for free. And they're here because they want to be here. Because the first trial gave this case so much publicity, and so many people saw how wrong it was. And now people want to volunteer their time to help. Like, I don't know how much this new lawyer who was allowed in today, 𝗃𝗍𝗃, is, how much money he's being paid, but it can't be much, if anything at all. It would not surprise me if he's doing this pro bono. It would not surprise me. He's from New York. You know? It would not surprise me if a number of high-powered defense attorneys who wanted to make a name for themselves and saw a historic injustice going on were like, I'm going to jump. I want in. I bet you they had a fucking bunch of people calling up, asking to be part of this. So they are going to be, I mean, this is they have I think I saw there was 4 of these people last time, these new young bucks, you know, like, look at those guys. Like, they're probably in their late 20s, mid 20s, and they're wicked smart. I can tell they're very smart, and they're well dressed, and they're all business. They're probably going to kill it as lawyers. And this is how they're going to get their career started, is on the Karen Reed legal defense team. Like, what better way to get your career started than to be part of this? I loved seeing it. And so I am so confident that, oh, wait, I'm going to text message. Hold on. What does this say? Oh, Karen Reed is in the chat. I missed it. 𝗃𝗍𝗃 is pro bono. It confirmed. Did I call that or did I call that? 𝗃𝗍𝗃, that guy is a high-powered, high-profile New York City attorney who is probably charges $1,000 an hour at least, doing this for free because he wants to be part of something. And that's what I mean. It's like, you added Hank Brennan. Look what they added. Look at the high power that they added this time around. And they are going to be so much better at this the second time around. They got a gift with a mistrial, bro. That's like the biggest gift ever the Commonwealth did. That's the best crack at the apple that they're going to get. Now it's like, now what are you going to do? Whew, now you can't leave. And Hank Brennan, I interviewed Hank on the way in too. He didn't want to answer my questions. I did a brief Hank interview. Do I have a Hank? Oh no, or is this oh no, this is Kimberly Fair. So this is, again, remember, this is a person who wears a blue shirt outside who the 𝗃𝗄𝗏 family is happy to associate with for some reason. All right, just a complete degenerate by the name of Kim Fair, a lunatic. Look at her. Look at her. Here she comes.
Hi, Kim. Nice to see you dressed up for court.
Good morning.
How are you?
She's so mad.
She's.
Look at her.
Just saying hello. Hey. She just assaulted me.
She.
I was kidding.
She's not family.
She has no family.
If you were arraigned for hooking, district court's across the street.
Oh, roasted. That's witty.
She's not family. She has no family.
Got her.
Open it up. Ladies.
All right. So yeah, there was that one. I think I got another clip of a video here. Let me see if I can find it. I might have posted it on Twitter. Let's see. I got that one. Oh, I got where'd it go? So I got Hank Brennan coming in, and let's see if we can play this clip. He can't. Like, I wanted to. I could have asked him so many better questions.
Good morning, Mr. Brennan. How are you? Why are you supporting corruption, Mr. Brennan? Any comment? Why are you throwing away your reputation, Mr. Brennan?
And that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing.
No? Okay.
Like, this is like Michael Jordan coming out of retirement to play on the Charlotte Hornets. Like, just pick a horrible team. Like, you came here to lose? What? Like, why would you do that? Like, you're gonna lose, Hank. You know, I don't understand what his motivation. I still don't get it. He is going to embarrass and humiliate himself. That's all this is. And speaking of humiliation, let's watch the 𝗟𝗟 entrance.
Good morning, Mr. 𝗟𝗟. Have you gotten Hank Brennan his sandwich yet? I heard he's hungry.
Ooh.
Are you going to speak at all? Are you embarrassed to be the backup now, Mr. 𝗟𝗟?
Ooh.
Are you at all ashamed?
I don't even think
Mr. 𝗟𝗟. Shame on you. Mr. 𝗟𝗟, does Mr. Brennan need a water with lemon or without?
That's a good question.
How does he like it?
It's a good question. I think it's a fair question.
He said he was thirsty. Get him a drink on the way in. Thank you. Actually, you'd like a lemonade this time, sir. Matt 𝗟𝗟.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, and speaking of this clip that was posted on social media of like, this was, oh, what an awesome situation this was. Let's watch this clip. Just watch it and enjoy it. All righty. Just watch it. So David Yannetti goes over to speak to Hank Brennan, and it's like the grown-ups are talking. Ready? Let's watch. Watch this. You want to talk to me? Okay, cool. Turns his back on 𝗟𝗟. Just look at him. Look at him sitting there, staring straight ahead. Look at this. He's so socially awkward. He is so socially awkward. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, my God. Like, during the trial, too. During the trial, when he would come over, and you don't get to see this if you're not in the room, in the media section. He would come over whenever he had a document to give to the defense. He would walk it over to him, and he would put it on the table, and he like wouldn't look at them in the eyes. He would just put it down, and he would stare straight ahead. So like there, right here, he would put a document down. And they'd say something, okay? Like it was just like he's so socially awkward and weird. And this just like look at him staring like at the head, just shamelessly ahead. This, and I told Will this in court. This is the workplace equivalent of being forced to watch your wife have sex with a man who has a bigger dick than you. That's what this is. Like and you're just gonna sit there and you're gonna watch it. You're just gonna watch me plow your wife and pleasure her in ways that you never have done before. And she's going to tell you about it too. She's going to let you know that. That's what this is. This is like, he's literally staring at it. Like he just sits there. That is a man who has completely lost the will to live or do anything. Like this is the most humiliating thing ever. Just a reminder. He did the first trial. He did his best. He wasn't working with a lot, right? But he went through it anyway. He did it. He was a loyal team player to this corrupt bullshit, and he just went along with it. And how was he rewarded for his loyalty? How was he rewarded for his loyalty? They benched his ass, and they brought in some lawyer named who represents mob bosses, and they brought him in, and this guy probably lives in a house that's 3 times Adam Lally's size. Adam Lally lives in probably some shit bum house in Attleboro. And the highlight of his week is, he comes home, he eats his cheese sandwich, he smokes his pack of cigarettes, and maybe we'll go to the kids' soccer game this weekend. Like that's it. That's the highlight of Adam Lally's week is the cheese sandwich and the kids' soccer game. That's it. And he doesn't complain because he's not the type, doesn't talk much, just wants to watch his programs on TV and call it a night. And, and here comes this guy who, works for the government, feels like he's making a difference, whatever. And then this guy comes along who represents mob bosses and lives in a much nicer house than him, comes along, and his boss, Michael Morrissey, says, I know you work for me and the taxpayers pay you, but you're out and this guy's in, and we're going to pay him about 80% of what you make in a year to do this trial. And then probably more. Like, we're not going to stop at 75, obviously. And that's just going to, and on top of that, to make matters worse for you, Lally, just to humiliate you even more, you have to keep coming. You have to organize, you have to bring your manila folders in and sit there and just stare while the grown-ups are talking ahead of you. Don't look around. Don't you dare look. Don't you dare turn your head. We are leaving this table for a reason, to get away from you. You don't get to talk to the big boys. You used to get to talk to David Yannetti and Alan Jackson, but not anymore. Not anymore. Now you sit there and you make sure that the table doesn't fly away. That's your job. Number one job, okay, is make sure the table and the chair don't fly away. So you have to sit in it in order to make that happen. So just sit there. All right. And he didn't even introduce himself today. Hank Brennan's like, I'm Hank Brennan, and this is my associate, Adam Lally. I don't know, he stands. Yep, I'm here, unfortunately. Like, anybody with any sort of pride would be like, I'm out. Like, you got fine. You want to bench me? Fine. I'm not going to court every day just to sit there. Like, no fucking way. Be this guy who lives in a nicer house than me and is fucking my wife. I got to be his bitch. No, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, he just sits there. He just sits there and takes it. So like a good dog. All right, let's actually watch the proceedings today, shall we? All right. Law and crime. Okay. All right. I love how, by the way, Bev just got there whenever the fuck she felt like getting there. Like, whenever I feel like coming, 9 o'clock, nah, well, let's make it 10. Let's call it 10:20 instead, because fuck it. So we were all just sitting there waiting for Bev to get there, and finally she arrives, And every time she just literally looks like a pig. And I don't mean to, I'm not name calling or anything like that, but from where you're sitting, it's like Miss Piggy. Like the nostrils just come up and you literally have to look. I can see the inside of her nostrils from where I'm sitting the whole time. The whole time. It gets weird. But yeah, phony baloney. There it is. The grown-ups are talking. Look at him. Look at Lally. He doesn't dare look back. Don't you dare turn around, Lally. Don't you dare. Just sit there and stare. Sit there, Adam. Do not turn around. Stay. Don't look. Don't blink. Don't blink. Don't move. Okay, Hank's back. Hank's back. Okay, now you can touch your chin. Okay, all right. Now you're ready to go. Okay. Eat your snapback. That's just too good. Dude, it's just, oh my God. All right. Actually, I want to see this introduction.
Good morning, Your Honor. Hank Brennan, we got the call along with me, Attorney Adam Valley, and also Attorney Laura Moore.
Good morning, Mr. Brennan. Good morning, Mr. Valley. Good morning, Mr. Brennan.
Good morning, Your Honor. Elizabeth Little appearing on behalf of defendant Karen Reed.
Good morning, Ms. Little.
Good morning, Your Honor. David Unetti for Karen Reed.
Good morning, Mr. Unetti. Good morning, Ms. Reed. All right.
Mr. Jackson appears to be.
Okay, we can't see him though, Jim?
We can't.
We can't see you. Is that okay?
Well, Jim's drunk again. Jim's drunk again.
All right. We have several motions this morning. Let's start with motion for admission pro hoc 𝗵𝗂𝗃.
This one was wild.
I know these are freely granted.
I know these are freely granted. These are the most rubber stamped things ever. Now she does grant it later on in the afternoon, but like pro hoc 𝗵𝗂𝗃s are just, you pay the fine and then that's it. But nothing's easy with Bev. Nothing. She has to like make you work for it just to be a cunt, just because that's how she is, because she drank her cunt juice.
I have a question about here. So you say good cause exists to grant this motion because Mr. 𝗃𝗍𝗃 has specialized skill and knowledge in representing defendants in matters of this nature. What do you mean?
Mr. 𝗃𝗍𝗃 is somebody with decades of experience in the courtroom, both on an appellate level and on a trial level. He has handled many criminal cases over his career. I have actually consulted with him on.
By the way, this blonde right here, she kept giving what's his name, Brennan shit. Like, I think that's his paralegal, and I would like, maybe somebody can do this, a records request, or I will. I want to know what she's getting paid. She ain't working for free. And Hank Brennan is not taking it out of his 75 grand. He ain't doing that. So how, like we saw that in my case, Mello got paid 80 grand, and then his PI got like 30 grand, and then Novak got 20 grand, and then 30 grand more for 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗃, triple dip 𝗁𝗏𝗃𝗃. So yeah.
Criminal matter. I know of no better trial attorney in the country than Robert 𝗃𝗍𝗃. There are aspects of our defense that would greatly benefit from his expertise. I'd rather not go into the specifics in terms of the division of labor on our team, but I'd ask the court to, take judicial notice that with his background, with his experience, he is going to add value to his team and protect my client's constitutional rights.
Okay, so he's not a criminal lawyer, but he's a lawyer who does some criminal work. I just don't understand what you mean by representing defendants in matters of this nature.
Of this criminal nature, he has represented criminal defendants throughout his career.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Like, what else do you need to know? She wants him to be her attorney, so who the fuck cares? Like, yeah, he's done this before. Like, what if she wanted to represent herself? Which you have to, like, who cares if he's done? Who cares if he does insurance law? Like, what does it matter? What do you care? Like, that would be a disadvantage to her and only her, right? Like, what does she care? She's just busting their balls because she can. She sucks.
All right, so let's go on to the discovery motions. We'll start with.
All right, so this is the motion for the phones, for mom and dad's phone, which is just awesome that they even want this. Like,
The Commonwealth has filed a Rule 17 motion to obtain phone records from William Reed for a 24-hour period. Secondly, the Commonwealth in that motion is looking for records regarding call logs for a 30-day period for William Reed. Although a different motion similarly, the Commonwealth has filed motions simply for the call log for 30 days for Janet Reed.
look at this guy with his 3-ring binder.
A burden with 2 of these charges, one being second-degree murder, to show the element of knowledge. It is the government's burden to show that Miss Reed knew she struck John O'Keefe. Second-degree murder, as the court is aware.
Wait, you guys can't hear the court stream? The court file? You guys can't hear it? Is there no sound? People are saying there's no sound. I'm getting texts saying there's no sound. Is that right? Then how did you guys hear the other shit then? Is there really no? It's low. Okay, that's his. I don't know. Okay.
Intentional act, a strong plain likelihood of death. In a second-degree murder charge, there are a number of different theories that a Commonwealth can progress. It could be an intention to hit somebody, or it could be that somebody intentionally drove, struck somebody, left them behind, and didn't render aid, knowing that there's a strong potential likelihood of death. When Ms. Reed knew that she struck John O'Keefe is a critical issue in this case, simply because the government has significant evidence outside of phone records to support and to convince that Ms. Reed knew she hit John O'Keefe when she did. The government's entitled to the full value of their proof. The records for 30 days begin with that aspect of William Reed's records. Ms. Reed calls her father and her mother a little after 1 o'clock on the night.
There's a lie. There's a lie right there. Calls her father and her mother a little after 1 o'clock. Nope. Incorrect. We have the 𝗃𝗏 records. I know you guys don't like 𝗃𝗏. I know you don't really believe those records. When we bring up Olivia Niles' tweet today, of course she's got it. Of course she does. Actually, I got to download this and bring it up. Okay. Can I zoom in on this? All right. Let me bring up her records here. All right. These are Karen Reed's cell phone records. 1:29 at 6:30 in the morning. There you go. That's the first answered call that day. The first one is at 6:30. Now, her list of her call log of who she called, of course, you see like 30 calls to John O'Keefe, and you see a call at 1:15. No, it was actually 1:14 that she calls her mother. So she doesn't call the mother and the father because they don't share a phone. They each have. Mr. Reed is very progressive. He allows his wife to have a phone. This is not Amish country or whatever. Like, you know, like women are allowed to own phones in America now. So she called her mother and her mother only, and her mother did not answer. Okay. And that's it. They're trying to make something of this. The fact that we're even talking about this is just shows how weak Hank Brennan is. And, you know, he's doing the best he can to attempt to work, you know, with not much to work with. And so like, he's like, okay, we're going to get her this time around on that. She, through her own words, we're going to try to use her own words against her this time around. That's going to be the plan. Cause obviously the evidence ain't there. So we're going to try to use her words against her. And she called her mother at 1:15. And we're going to say that she was doing that because she just killed John and she wants to confess that to her parents. Right. So this is a lie, first of all, that they're saying this. And it makes me happy to know that this is their ace in the hole. This is like, oh, the first time around didn't work, but aha, the second time around, we're going to get the phone records. Now, Karen's team opposed this, but I don't even think they give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. If they get Janet and Bill Reed's phone records, who cares? Like, what are they going to find? Like, if that ain't going to do shit. And if, one of the things, and by the way, putting them on the stand would be the biggest mistake they could make. I wish a motherfucker would, but I don't think they're going to put Bill and Janet because they're very sympathetic and likable people, and they're only going to come across well to a jury. That'd be a huge mistake on their part. Like, stop getting your advice from Twitter trolls. I know Tuesday Gazette or whatever it is, and you know the crazy ginger lady. They're telling you on Twitter, call up. And that's clearly where he takes direction from. Call up the parents and put them on the stand. I know they're saying that, but they're retarded. They're literally retarded. So maybe, but you can do it if you want, I guess. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can give it a shot. So that seems to be their strategy this time around, is to put them on the stand and maybe they'll confess that Karen Reed confessed to them. I don't know what they're trying to admit here. And again, as the defense points out, you can get all this information from Karen Reed's phone, right? He's going to make an argument otherwise. So he starts off by lying about phone calls to both parents.
She struck and killed John O'Keefe. She called both of them, and those calls were unanswered, according to the phone records. The inference that a 40-something-year-old woman is calling her parents at 1:30 in the morning after this tumultuous event The inference is strong evidence that Miss Reed knew she had done something terrible. She knew she had struck John O'Keefe, and she knew that she had left him behind.
So every time you call your parents, it means you just killed someone. You know you killed someone. That's the only reason to call your parents. This is the kind of stuff you say when your mommy doesn't love you. Like, this is what I guess, I don't know what kind of home Hank Brennan came for, but I don't find that odd at all. And especially if you're in a moral conundrum and you're like, my boyfriend's drunk. He's not coming home again. He's not answering the phone. Same shit that happened last month, Mom. Am I a dick if I leave? Like, should I just fucking leave? Like, what should I do? She's looking for guidance. Right? And what is she supposed to do? He didn't answer. She was using every trick in the book to get John to answer that phone. Every trick in the book, which only leads credence to the idea that she thought he was alive. She had no idea she killed him. Right? Why the fuck? That's not the kind of thing you do if you think you just killed someone. You don't keep calling him. He kept calling him and doing little tricks there, little chick tricks to be like, oh, I'm leaving you, John. I'm going back to I'm in Mansfield now. I think that's what one of the texts said. I'm back in Mansfield. What do you think of that? Huh? And he's supposed to be like she's thinking John's out partying, and then he's he's ignoring her. And then she's like, he gets the text that says, oh, I'm back in Mansfield. Oh, fuck. Ah, shit. I gotta go. Oh, she left. I gotta go home, guys. My fucking kid's there. You know what I mean? I gotta get out of here. Like that the oldest trick in the book. She was using all the tricks to get him to answer the phone, which you don't do if the guy's dead. You don't do all the tricks to get him to answer the phone if he's dead, because dead people can't answer the phone. They can't. Not even Robert the Bruce is dead. He can't do it.
Is an attempt to protect the privacy rights of William and Janet Reed by not asking for the call, the text messages, not asking for SMS messages, not looking to forensically download the phone, just the call records, because I expect to establish that there were no other calls in that 30-day period from Miss Reed to her parents at 1:30 in the morning.
But can't you get that from Ms. Reed's phone?
And by the way, that whole thing, they want the cell records going back 30 days to establish that she's never previously called him at 1:30 in the morning or 1:15 in the morning. So what? John never just disappeared on another night. So yeah, I usually don't call you at 1:15 in the morning because I'm usually asleep and John's lying next to me. That's why, like, what does he think he's going to prove? And this is why I'm psyched about trial too, because look what the defense is bringing in with them. They're bringing in BC law students and attorneys from New York who are volunteering to work pro bono. And these guys are bringing in Bill and Janet Reed's phone records. Like, this is slaughter. Stop the fight. It's over. It's going to be so bad.
No. There were two search warrants on Miss Reed's phone.
I cannot read them. The search warrant that was attached that I have isn't clear, so I'll need clear copies of those search warrants.
Those are provided by the defense. I can provide clear copies. The two search warrants on Miss Reed's phone are from a period of January 28, 6 p.m. to January 29, 6 p.m.
Okay.
And the other one is January 28, 9:30 to January 29, 5:30.
Okay.
And so they're not in Miss Reed's records. I am not looking to see any of the other numbers that the family called, friends, family, whatever their purpose is. I'm not looking to even see. I want to see and demonstrate there's an absence of phone calls between Miss Reed and her parents for 30 days prior.
Okay, good job, Nerdlinger.
With help the defense, they want to expand that to 6 months or a year. I'm agreeable. Because if there was phone calls at 1:30 in the morning, I would not argue the inference that it was remarkable. That would be an unfair inference. But in the absence of any other calls, it is terribly remarkable that she's being calling her parents at 1:30 in the morning. And here's why it's important.
Like, that's all you got. It's you know, we're gonna tell a jury, guys, she called her mom at 1:30. She's never done it before. Oh snap, bombshell. You mean her boyfriend's never been missing before? Holy fucking shit. Hank Brennan just cracked the case.
The type of injury John O'Keefe suffered that led to his death was a type of injury that was treatable. If he had received treatment,
yes,
1 to 2 hours,
yes,
expect that there are medical procedures.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Oh, I'm with you on that, Hanky Spanky. Oh boy. There was a lot that could have been done to save John's life. Here's one thing that could have saved John's life. If the first responder who lived inside the house came outside and helped him out, that might have helped. Or when Jennifer McCabe got there, if she went inside and got a blanket for him, that might have helped. Something like that. Totally agree with you, Spanky there. Totally agree.
produced a drill and drilled it into his brain to create bleeding so it wouldn't swell, or they could have cracked his cranium. Now, certainly he would have suffered significant impairment, but I expect the government is pursuing a witness. And my expectation on my research is a witness will say life-saving procedures within the first 2 hours would have saved or could have saved Dono Kearney. And
so this is going to be his new witness. Oh, this guy's such a nerd. The new witness at the trial is going to say it's going to be like a doctor or something, and they're saying if Karen Reed had called 911 and they could have saved his life, yeah, right. But that doesn't change anything. If the jury believes that the McAlberts might have done it, then they're still not going to convict her. So what are you hoping to accomplish with this? We all agree that if somebody tried to save John's life, his life might have been able to be saved. Maybe, you know what I mean? We all agree on that.
Miss Reed knew within the first 2 hours that she hit him and that medical procedures could have saved his life. Then this is relevant material to show her knowledge that something dramatic had happened. And that's why I went for 30 days. Only phone calls with her mother and father. Nothing else am I interested in. The second part is the 24-hour period with William Reed. The 24-hour phone records will show Mr. Reed's phone calls throughout that evening or that morning. And it's important because Mr. Reed had an opportunity to speak publicly, and he did so in Fox 25, which is the subject of another motion. And when he speaks to Fox 25, he gives what I see as an implied admission that his daughter told him that she had hit something. I think there's more to that story.
Yeah, it's called a 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗃𝗃𝗃.
The time of the phone calls to Miss Reed are important. They reflect in her phone records in the morning that she speaks to her father while she's still in the back of a police car before she's brought to the hospital. In that discussion with Fox 25, the quote is, in your first discussions, my motion leaves off the S in discussion, but it's in the first discussions, what did she tell you? Mr. Reed asserts that she tells him about this implied confession at the hospital, which is after the actual first conversation. And so it'll be important to be able to confront Mr. Reed, if necessary, with his own phone records. He can denounce or deny his daughter's phone records. He doesn't have to accept them as true. Also, in that first 24-hour period, it is important for the government to establish that Mr. Reed and only Mr. Reed controlled the phone. In the absence of stipulation, this is proof that may be necessary at trial if Mr. Reed takes the position that other people had access to his phone.
What the fuck? He thinks Bill Reed's going to be like, no, it wasn't me on the phone. Somebody else had my phone. What does he think is happening here? What is this guy even talking about? What does he think is going to happen at trial? He's like, well, he said in the Fox 25 interview that she told him about it at 6:34 p.m., but actually it happened at 7:30. Bro, this is it. This is what you're playing. This is your smoking gun. Bro, you're going to be more humiliated than 𝗟𝗟 when this is all said and done. At least 𝗟𝗟 was already humiliated. He was used to public humiliation. You, sir, were supposedly a reputable attorney before this. You ain't going to come out one. This is going to be your legacy, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.
That first conversation where she admits that she struck something, i.e. Mr. O'Keefe, is critical to the government's case. And so we cannot rely just on Ms. Reed's phone for a couple of reasons. Number one, phone records often show different communications. Sometimes calls or hang-ups don't register on a phone. And so they could be different. Secondly, I've learned that Ms. Reed's phone was sent to a taint team. And the Commonwealth does not and should not know what, if anything, was redacted from Ms. Reed's records. The idea of sending it to a taint team, I surmise, is that something was viewed that determined that it should go to a taint team, or perhaps the defense raised the issue. I don't have the benefit of the history. But what I do know is we cannot say that the records from Ms. Reed are a full accounting of her records. And so that Mr. Reed's records stand separately from Ms. Reed's records.
What?
Those are the two different types of records I am requesting from William Reed.
I still don't understand what his argument is. Why can't, if she called her dad from her phone and you have her records, wouldn't they be on his phone? I don't even understand what he's asking for here. And I got great news for him either way. I got and bad news actually for 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. It's that all Karen Reed, suppose you find some really incriminating phone calls between the two of them. All you have to say now is, I didn't do that. And that's it. Ask Jennifer McCabe how that works, or Nicholas Garino. You can just say forensic data is fake now. I didn't know you could do that until the first trial. Turns out you can. Life 360 data shows you doing that. No, that's not true. No, never did that. Googled how long to die in cold. No. It says you deleted all these phone calls, all 18 of them. The fuck I did. What? Oh, I'd never do that. I don't know what those reports are saying. Oh, Lanker says that you said this in the police report? No, I don't know why Lanker said that. This report said 5:30, but the car was really towed at 4:15. Oh, it's a Scrivener's error. It's just like, This is wild. Like, they think that data means shit now. All of a sudden, data means shit. Oh, the 222 phone calls, fucking my wife. Just fucking my wife. And I was butt fucking her, and then a butt answered it. Well, and then and he was sleepwalking. What about the Jennifer McCabe's moving around at 3:50 in the morning? Oh, must have been taking a shit. I don't know. It's just like, they really think this is going to be like forensic data counts. That's honestly what you're saying. What about the Apple Health data showing going up and down 3 flights of stairs? Oh, he's going like this. He's going like this. Fucking everybody knows that's how a cell phone works. Oh my God. Okay.
I've been careful to make it limited. I'm not looking to see their physical phone. I'm not looking for a forensic download. After the first day of Mr. Reed's records, all I am looking for is call subscriber information and phone registers. I note the defense point of collateral information. I don't even want to see it. I just want to see this communication between Mr. Reed and the parents, so that if we present that inference, it is a sound inference, it is a fair inference, and it is a solid inference. And that's my argument regarding the phone records of Mr. Reed.
All right, who's arguing this for the defense?
Yeah, she was sharp today. She was
Your Honor,
great.
Defense requested a Commonwealth Rule 17 motion seeking Ms. Reed's father's private cell phone information be denied. The Commonwealth is seeking 3 categories of information for Mr. Reed's cell phone: his private subscriber information, all call records, call detail records, SMS, MMS, and all data use records from January 29th and January 30th, 2022. And finally, all call detail records for an entire month-long period spanning December 30th, 2021 until January 30th, 2022. Your Honor, we are 3 years into this litigation, and the Commonwealth is now seeking to invade Mr. Reed's privacy under the guise that it's seeking communications between Mr. Reed and his daughter. But the Commonwealth already has a record of all the communications between Mr. Reed and his daughter on January 29th from not one, but 2 separate sources. The Commonwealth is in possession of Ms. Reed's cell phone. It's also in possession of Ms. Reed's Verizon records. The Commonwealth is asking this court to sanction this gross invasion of her father's privacy, so the Commonwealth can sift through Mr. Reed's electronic data for information that is already in possession of the Commonwealth. Now, I know Mr. Brennan says, I'm not interested in seeing anything else. The problem is, that's not what his motion says, right? He's asking for every single call, regardless of recipient, for a month-long period.
Yeah, it's true.
William Reed has never been called by the Commonwealth to testify as a witness in this case.
So this is a new trial, right?
Oh, there it is.
And prohibit the Commonwealth from calling him.
I understand, Your Honor. Okay. He wasn't present at 34 Fairview.
Oh, she
He wasn't
knows.
present at Seattle
She
Park,
knows.
And he wasn't present at the waterfall on January 29th, 2022. And I would note that this court has repeatedly emphasized the importance of privacy concerns when it comes to an individual's cell phone, using that as a basis to deny the defendant's motions to obtain cell phone records from parties who were present that night. The Commonwealth, again, is already in possession of Ms. Reed's cell phone. That has been reviewed by both the special master as well as the court, and the court is well aware that the Commonwealth has a full copy of those communications.
It's just wild that they want Bill Reed's cell phone, but not Brian Albert's. Like, that Rule 17 was denied. But, like, he owns the house. He was there all night, never came outside when the body was on his lawn, never, like, nothing. Called Brian Higgins, lied to a grand jury about not calling anyone and being in bed. We don't need his phone. We don't need his phone. Even though when they ended up getting his phone, it showed that he lied. It showed that he lied. But we need Bill Reed's phone. Now that's what's real. The guy who was fucking sleeping in Dayton.
And what's important is that those call logs confirm that Ms. Reed did not make any calls to her father on January 29th until after she discovered Mr. O'Keefe lying incapacitated on Brian Albert's front lawn.
I don't think they're going to get this phone.
It's quite clear. There was one call to her father on the morning of January 29th. That was at 6:32 a.m. The Commonwealth has a copy of those records. It's in their possession. And as this court knows, Lampron explicitly requires that any Rule 17 motion must be accompanied by an affidavit containing factual showing.
I know all about Lampron. I know them all.
The Commonwealth has failed to meet its burden.
I love
To
Lampron.
meet even a single prong of that four-part test. In regards to the burden that they have to establish that the records are evidentiary and relevant, the Commonwealth in its affidavit set forth no particularized facts whatsoever.
Guys, the volume's as loud as it can get. Jesus
Affidavit
Christ.
makes only vague reference to an interview Mr. Reed gave to Boston 25, but fails to explain why that interview suggests that relevant communications will be found on his phone records. And I would note the Commonwealth's characterization of that interview is incorrect and incomplete. I submitted additional reporting from Boston 25, which is the news organization that published a portion of that interview. And it's quite clear that Mr. Reed goes on to state during that interview that what he's referring to when his daughter said, I believe I hit something, was the 𝗫𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃, which the court knows. We have a video of her hitting a 𝗫𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗃 that morning. The Commonwealth is already in possession of Ms. Reed's communications from January 29th.
Yeah.
Included in the Commonwealth's motion itself.
Yeah.
And the Commonwealth has failed to explain why it believes additional relevant communications will be found in the call detail text records. That was not included in the affidavit. The Commonwealth states they expect to substantively admit the phone records between Ms. Reed and her father to prove that the 6:32 a.m. call took place. But they can do that with the phone records that they already have. Just because they have records from Verizon, that doesn't establish who answered the phone. That's not something that they're going to get from Verizon.
Right.
The Commonwealth is well aware of that fact because they have Ms. Reed's cell phone and her Verizon records, so they can confirm that there's only one call on the morning of January 29th.
Right, right.
The Commonwealth has provided no factual basis whatsoever to suggest that there are relevant communications that will be found on January 30th, the day after this incident. And the Commonwealth also requests that Ms. Reed's phone records for the full month preceding January 29, 2022 is necessary to show that it would be unusual for parents to have called her father. And the Commonwealth did a kind of funny thing, right? They suggested during their arguments that she called both parents.
Oh yeah, yeah. I picked up. Yep, I picked.
The morning of. It was at
6:34. Oh, 6:32.
So the frequency at which Ms. Reed called her father cell phone in the middle of the night has no relevance whatsoever.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, because she never called her dad. Like, so why the call at 6:32? Of course, you're going to call your dad after you find a body, so that nobody contends that that's a shady call. So why do you want his? You know, and they lied. He lied when he said that they called both their parents at 1 o'clock. That never happened. That never happened.
As to the second element of Lampron, here the Commonwealth's affidavit is facially deficient. It doesn't even reference this element or set forth any facts supporting that it's shown that the Commonwealth's records are not otherwise procurable reasonably in advance of trial. And the reason Mr. Brennan cannot in good faith make that statement under oath is because the Commonwealth is already in possession of these communications from two separate sources. Element 3 of Lampron was also not addressed in the Commonwealth's affidavit. It's facially deficient. The Commonwealth has failed to show that it cannot properly prepare for trial without the production of this evidence, and that the failure to obtain evidence would unreasonably delay trial. Again, that's because the Commonwealth is already in possession of the evidence that they're requesting. Finally, the Commonwealth has also failed to show that this request is made in good faith and is not a fishing expedition. In its affidavit,
This is the hardest part to overcome, is the fishing expedition part of it, right? This is how they got stuck on Brian Albert's and cell phone, and Alan Jackson famously said that we caught the fish, we hooked him, we just need help you to reel it in, you know. And the fishing expedition thing means you can't just be being like, we think there's probably some shit in there, we'd like to go and look around and see if there's something there. Can't do that, according to Lampron. And but we're going to win our thing with Morrissey because we know as a fact he's using a burner. We have evidence of this. We have an actual email from Morrissey showing that he did this. Yeah, that's a problem. Whereas like with them, they're like, he's literally saying, I have a hunch. I bet she's never called there before. We just want to look around and see how many times they've talked. He literally says it like he defined a fishing expedition.
Commonwealth briefly addresses the fourth element of Lampron, but writes only, quote, the Commonwealth's motion is not a fishing expedition, as it is evidence from the defendant's phone records that phone calls between defendant and Mr. Reed were made sometime after defendant struck the victim and before the victim was found. Your Honor, that statement is provably false.
Ooh.
Ms. Reed's phone records established conclusively that she did not call her father on January 29th until 6:32.
Yep.
After she found her boyfriend incapacitated on Brian Albert's front lawn. Therefore, the requested records should not be turned over to the Commonwealth. This is a broad request to review a month's worth of Mr. Reed's private cell phone information and all of his data usage information from January 29th and January 30th. This is a fishing expedition, plain and simple. The Commonwealth isn't asking for the records it already has. It doesn't need a third copy of them. What it's looking to do is sift through Mr. Reed's personal cell phone information on January 29th to see if it can find data usage information, location information, text messages with other individuals, and that is a completely inappropriate use of Rule 17.
Correct.
This unsupported request is overbroad and must be denied.
Yes. Yes.
That is most telling is they don't know who answered the phone. That's a harbinger to trial. But if the prosecution doesn't know who answered the phone when Karen Reed called her parents or her mother's phone at 1:43 a.m. No, the Commonwealth doesn't. And so we have to prepare that when Mr. Reed takes the stand, we have on record all of his phone calls and that he had control of that phone. So there can't be a suggestion somebody else was handling the phone. Or, on the other hand, if the position is going to be that Janet Reed answered the phone, the father's phone, or that William Reed answered the mother's phone, then we'll call both witnesses at trial and we'll sort it out. But it is that very nature of suggesting confusion or uncertainty that the government is obligated to try to prevent that trial. And we're being diligent, we're being studious, and we're going to be prepared. And these records will help us do that. That is the exact point, the reason why we need these records.
Hey, no.
Wait, did you want to respond at all, Ms. Little?
Well, I think the Commonwealth actually brought up the issue of they tried to basically say, I need the Verizon records because Karen's phone records don't establish that Mr. Reed answered the phone. But all I'm saying is that neither do the Verizon records. So there is no additional information that we're going to obtain by digging through Mr. Reed's private cell phone information.
Okay. All right, so we sort of overlapped a little bit with Mrs. Reed, Janet Reed's records. Do you want to be heard further on that, Mr. Brennan?
No, I believe the court understands my argument unless the court has any questions for me.
I don't, but thank you. Ms. Little, is there anything specific to Mrs. Reed that you want to address?
Yes, Your Honor. Again, I just emphasize that the affidavit in support of the request for Ms. Reed's phone records.
All right, so
the affidavit in support of Rule 7.
So we will move along now. Both of those are under advisement. We'll move along now to it's paper number 405, Commonwealth's renewed motion for all audio recordings, notes, emails, text messages, voicemails, in the possession of Gretchen Voss and or Metro Court.
all right, so We'll get to this part next about the 𝗃𝗏𝗃 shit. So let me just read a couple turtle chats here. We need a little break here. Read some. I don't want to forget your messages. First up, it's $10 from Lacey that says, your face when Hank came up to the podium was too good to not tweet out. Hopefully you saw it. Hilarious. This is my first time actually watching this and seeing my facial reaction. So I can't help it. Like, that's my seat. I always sit in that seat. And I can't help my facial reactions. Like when I hear ridiculous shit, I'm just like what? And then when I hear good shit, I'm like, yep, amen, sister. Amen. I can't help it. So thank you very much, Lacey. Sandra sends $25, goes, did Lally do anything at all today? Did he just sit there or even try to fake looking busy? No, he did nothing. Nothing. He just sat there and watched somebody bang his wife. That's what happened. Thank you very much, Sandra. Nicole sends $10 and goes, is the defense able to use the video by microdots of Brian Higgins gesturing to John O'Keefe in an aggressive manner before leaving the bar? I don't remember that footage during trial. The jury needs to see that exchange. Alan Jackson actually referenced that in his closing. But again, you can't share it, you know what I mean, with the jury at the end. So like they don't fucking remember. And I don't, to me, that's not, I like the video. I think it's a good job by Richie. I don't think it proves anything. I just don't. I think that all the shit about the behavior at the waterfall, the shadiest information that came out about the waterfall came from 𝗃𝗄𝗄𝗃, who testified that Jennifer McCabe was insistent that they go over there. Like she's like, it was odd. She was trying to separate them and was just insistent on John coming over there. That to me was the shadiest thing that happened at the waterfall bar. Yeah. So thank you for that. All right. Next up, it doesn't prove it though. Him going like that, they can easily just be like, oh, I was saying, come on back. I wasn't talking to John. There were other people over there. There were. So, you know what I mean? It's like, to me, it doesn't prove much. It's an interesting theory, but I like shit I can prove. You know what I mean? So that's just me. And we all think the video shows a lot because we're all biased to not like the McAlberts, So like, remember, you have to convince a jury that isn't biased to dislike the McAlberts to do that. That's not all I'm saying. Anyway, Lally's cheese sandwich sends $5 and says, are we going to watch Plevin Valentinas? Yes, we are. Do you know what Phelps' big secret is this week? Is he announcing his relationship with Valentinas? I don't know. I don't know what the big secret is. All I know is Phelps is a joke and he's not a serious person. So it's probably something Plevin told him because that's his new, best friend. Okay. Next up, Jess Kelly sends $11, goes, can we talk about how many times Brennan picked up and put down his pen in court today? Over and over. Anyway, my twin and I love your stuff, and we're always witnessing history in the making. Thanks to you. Thank you, Free Karen Reed and Free Turtle Boy. Happy holidays, the Twin Turtle Riders in California. I didn't know I had Twin Turtle Riders in California, but I didn't notice that about the pen. His little vest there wasn't fooling anyone today. I don't know what that was all about, bro. Chill out with the vests there, Spanky. We're all really impressed. I get it, but thank you, Jess. Like this isn't. It's 2024, not 1924. Okay, what are you doing there? You're not trying to convict Sacco and Vanzetti. You're trying to convict Karen Reed. Stop it. All right. Technogeric sends $5 and goes, I'm glad to see Karen in the chat. Unfortunately, Hank Brennan just subpoenaed 1 month of YouTube chat histories for all 4,000 participants to find out if Karen actually said pro bono. I know. Wouldn't surprise me at this point. Wouldn't surprise me. Thank you. Romy sends $50 and says Karen's statement after court was fire. Yeah, remind me to actually, I'm not gonna lie, I can't even think right now. I gotta take a leak. Hold on, I'll be right back. Let me play this video one more time. Hold on. What am I stepping on here? All right, hold on.
I'll call this bang bang.
Listen.
Seriously?
Oh, here we go.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Get fucked. Okay.
Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough.
Listen, he's not my guy. Fucking McDonough. Fucking McDonough. But the thing is this, I'm a YouTube content creator. Trust me.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Let me get these cash apps because these are important.
Fuck you, you piece of shit. Fuck you, you piece of shit.
Crazy Sean is history.
All right, we're back. We back. All right, we're good. All right, let me go back to these turtle chats. Hold on. Annette sends $10 and goes, the trolls are so mad. That party is destroying them. Brendan is not what they said he would be. He's so dumb to think KR went on interviews to confess. Plus, can you address Jonathan Hall? He thinks it's a 40-year-old called her mother. He said it was weird. He actually said that. Is it weird that two 50-year-old fat grown men butt dial each other at 2:22? That's such a good point. That's such a good point. The same night that John O'Keefe was allegedly dying on their front lawn, they both butt dial each other. And that's so another thing too. It's like, so a guy got killed on your front lawn, and while he was dying there, you were fucking your wife into oblivion, and then you butt answered your phone while you were fucking your wife. So that's where fucking your wife was more important than saving John O'Keefe's life. Like that's wild to me, but that's such a good point. That's such a good point. Like, that's such a good point. Like anyone who thinks it's weird that Karen Reed called her dad at 1:14, might I remind you that these two grown ass men butt dialed each other and answered and had a 22-second conversation at 2:22 in the morning. That's such a good point. Did Jonathan Hall say that? I don't know. We got to go back and read it. Thank you. But the trolls are mad. You know, this is destroying them. Yeah. So I'll have to go back and listen to that. All right. Katie sends $5 and goes, Emily D. Baker said earlier that the Commonwealth can present new theories, but the defense can call all the old witnesses and bring up all the old theories. Well, that's good. I like that. And Emily D. Baker is such a, she never does. I'm new to her, but I guess she never does like predictions or jury predictions, like, you know, verdict predictions. And, you know, I think, you know, never watches trials blind, is not biased at all. And she's like, absolutely. I went back and watched her on the last day, day 30 of the trial. And she's like, this is going to be I can't imagine this not being, I don't usually do verdict predictions, but I can't imagine this not being an acquittal. And she has since gone back and, you know, today redid a lot of the, like, explained the trial as best she could to her listeners. And it was like, she clearly knows, like, everybody knows, everyone, every law trooper with the brain, all of them think that Karen Reed's innocent. That never happens. They're just like, obviously she can't, it would have been shocking, anything but an acquittal. So thank you for that. Danielle sends $25. So I was not sure if you heard all, but Voices for Justice with Danielle is amazing. Definitely subscribe when the live ends. Okay. Thank you very much, Danielle. Kathleen says, no, I already got that one. Okay. Thank you for that one. Okay. Alex sends $5 and goes, who's the biggest cuck? Matt Valentinas, Carl Dougal, or Adam Lowley? Ooh. Gotta be Valentinas. Gotta be Valentinas. Gotta be. So thank you very much for that one. Krusty's yeast infection, clitoral wart gullo, sends $5 and goes, this is such a pathetic attempt at a Hail Mary. It really is. It really is. Thank you. Lisa sends $50 and goes, Auntie Bev is such a cunt. Thank you, Turtle Boy, for all you do. Free Karen Reed, free Turtle Boy. Well, I agree with everything you said there, Lisa. Thank you for the generous dono. Thank you. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $5 and goes, the first responder residing at 34 Fairview did help John out. He helped him out of the basement and into the snow. That's true. Not a grammar Nazi, but this is on the Dono page. Welcome to Turtle Chat. We will not censor your comments. Oh, I didn't realize that. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me check any cash apps we have here. Tyrone sends $5, goes, the Commonwealth is grasping at straws today. You got that right. Amy sends $20 and says, for being you. Oh, that's the best person I can be. Thank you. And Gilly Girl sends $10 and goes, hashtag not butthurt. She wrote out hashtag. So thank you, Gilly Girl. I appreciate that. If anyone else wants to have their messages read out loud to the class, they click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtle Boy. Let me share this with you, actually. Let me talk about what they're talking about with Jonathan Hall. So he works for 7 News, and I get along with this guy, but his tweet today was ridiculous. Okay? It was absurd. Because, all right, and he's quote tweeting Julie Carpenter. Again, another psychopath. It's like, what? Why are you promoting this individual? Again, you're like supposed to be a serious news person. What are you doing? Karen Reed, something tells me this little outburst won't age well. Once the material in the masterful hands of Hank Brennan. Oh my God. Save us, Mello. He's our last hope. All of Karen Reed's lies will be laid out bare for the jury. Why so angry, Karen? Tick-tock goes the countdown to the prison clock. Karen, he said admission's not going to be... Well, let's see what she said here. Let's see. What did Karen Reed say that has these people so worried? Let's find out right now on her way out of court. I had left by then because it was raining.
Jonathan.
Yes.
Isn't it amazing that ABC, NBC, Boston Magazine, and Fox all sat on alleged confessions and never publicized it? That's malfeasance on all your parts if that were actually true. That's a fishing expedition. They don't exist.
And
Isn't it amazing that ABC, NBC, Boston Magazine, and Fox all sat on alleged confessions and never publicized it? That's malfeasance on all your parts if that were actually true. That's a fishing expedition. They don't exist.
And
They don't exist. I mean, that's such a good point. It's just like you want, and that's what we're going to get into now, is they want all of ABC's videos, unshown video, and Boston 25's unshown videos of the interviews with these people, with Karen Reed and her family. And because there's probably a confession in there somewhere. Think how fucking stupid that is. Do they think she made a confession to Dateline? And that Dateline, out of the goodness of their own heart, we're like, you know what? It would be really bombshell shit if we had Karen Reed. We have video of her confessing to the murder. This whole thing is just a scam. We have her actually, for some reason, she fucking confessed to us. I don't know why, but she chose to. I think she thought she was in a Catholic church, like she's like, going to confession, and she's just gonna, tell it all. And we were like, you know what? We could probably make a lot of money, Aaron. That shouldn't get crazy good views. But you know what? We're going to protect her. And Gretchen Voss, who clearly loves Karen Reed and is a huge Karen Reed fan, is just going to hold on to information like that that could just completely fuck her over. Yeah. It's just so stupid. And that was just such a perfect answer. So the fact that someone as dumb as Julie Carpenter, believes that. And why is so she's getting this off of Tom CPU's feed. That's why Tom CPU is so great. Did 7 News not have their own footage of this? Like there's microphones in her face. Why are you sharing this video? I didn't understand that either. And so this is what Jonathan Reed said. And I responded to him. So it says Karen Reed headed over to make a statement to me, make it about you, after the hearing concluded. She's not happy. The state is seeking to use her own statements in the media against her. She calls it a fishing expedition, which will go nowhere. I tried to follow up, but she headed off. She's not happy. See, this is like you editorializing, Jonathan. She's not happy. She seemed plenty happy to me. She's very happy because, like me, she knows this is a joke. Like, that's your best shot. She said the other night at the fundraiser, Hank Brennan, take your best shot and I'll take mine. Like, yeah, give it a shot. Like, she's laughing at this. Like, you think there's a confession on there? You fucking idiots. Go, okay. Yeah, let's see where that one goes. You fucking morons. And Jonathan's like, his take on that is she's not happy. Oh, wow. She really, like, the implication is there. She really doesn't want those coming out. Shut up. So people don't trust the media. Liar. That's what I said, Jonathan. This is dishonest. Nothing about this suggests Karen Read is not happy. They're seeking statements she made to the media. She's laughing about how foolish it is. She's mocking the Commonwealth because this is the best they've got. It's beyond stupid to think she confessed in an interview and the media was kind enough to her to not report that. Why isn't the media speaking out against the Commonwealth's attempt to demand access to reporters' notes and other work product? That's a big thing. It's like, how is the media not being like, no, motherfucker, we're taking a hard line against this. This is top, this is journalistic integrity. Like, we don't have to hand shit over to you. No, we get to put out what we want. You don't have a right to this, And exactly, like, how come I'm the only one, T-Dog, not asking questions, like tough questions? This is why people like me, and this is why I'm killing the game, and they're not. It's because I'm asking the questions that people want answered, and no one else is doing that. So anyway, let's get back to the hearing.
I do have an opposition that I received this morning in an affidavit from Robert Birch, attorney Robert Birch. Is that right? No.
The Commonwealth has filed a motion to reconsider in part, and in addition, there was a request for information that was not requested before by the Commonwealth. Your Honor made a ruling in the past to turn over portions of the materials, and in that ruling, it invited the Commonwealth after review to renew or reconsider the motion or the assent of the motion. I've had an opportunity to listen to the hearing. I've had an opportunity to review all of the pleadings relative to statements made to a number of other media organizations, including Dateline 2020.
Yeah, I made statements. Yeah.
And
Okay.
after review of all those materials.
Yeah, what'd you find out?
It's clear that there were significant materials that were not turned over to the Commonwealth
Ooh.
that are relevant material and substantive evidence in this case.
Ooh.
In listening to the past hearing,
Ooh.
the position of 𝗺cie magazine was that almost everything was entirely on record and that there were a few interchanges by the attorneys. Not only did I have an opportunity to read the 𝗺cie magazine article and listen to the interviews, but I had them transcribed.
Ooh.
If the court pleases.
Ooh.
And there were two different interviews that were turned over. One was represented at the last hearing that was 4 hours long. The Commonwealth received 3 hours and 19 minutes.
Ooh.
A significant portion of that hearing, 40 minutes.
Ooh.
The second interview was represented in the audio recording.
Well, I guess the confession must exist in those 40 minutes of missing audio. Wait till he finds out that the Canton Library video is missing 2 minutes at the exact time that Karen Read went right by it. And if they had that video, they'd have Karen Read's broken taillight and boom, they got him. I'd be a lot more upset about, if I were Hank Brennan, I'd be doing much more to track down that Canton Library video that would, really then they got her. Like if her taillight's broken on that video, done, got her. Then her whole thing about, she couldn't have broken at John's 5 hours later, right? Because it's already broken then. But why don't they want that? Why are you so concerned about this, but you don't want actual shit that can help you? Because you got nothing. Because you're weak.
Recording of court that I listened to as a 2-hour interview. The Commonwealth received merely 19 minutes. So the majority of that interview was not provided. And so there wasn't just a few redactions. They were significant. In addition, which is notable, and you can glean this from the transcripts, is that there wasn't just a few interruptions. Mr. Yannetti is noted on the transcript 37 times.
Ooh.
Attorney Little 33 times, and Attorney Jackson 33 times. And so there are significant interruptions and redactions in both recordings. These redactions in the recordings are important.
Why?
The thing that stands out when you actually listen to the interviews and you look at the transcripts is that many times during the attorney's interruptions, there's a redaction, and when the conversation resumes, there is a change, sometimes subtle, sometimes not subtle. There is a change in the statement by Ms. Read. And so it is clear that there's an inference that in those redacted portions, there is conversation or consultation or discussion happening that changes the direction and sometimes the content of Ms. Read's statements.
Oh my God.
That bears directly on the credibility of the witness. Because all of her statements are admissible. All of them.
Yeah, she must have confessed. Holy fuck. If we just do a little, I don't know, fishing expedition, maybe we can find out. what she said there. I bet you it's a confession. I bet you it is. We got to go fishing first.
Substantive evidence. There's no hearsay. There's no limitation. They are statements of the defendant. They're material and relevant, and the Commonwealth is free to use any and all of them at their discretion. And so it's not only what she says in the interview, it is what is missing in the redactions. Now, certainly there may be discussions in those redactions that involve her attorneys and Ms. Voss, but none of that is protected. None of that is protected.
You know what would be so funny? You know what would be so funny? And I just thought of this. What if, what if during, because these are like, they probably said some shit to Gretchen Voss or whoever, and they're like, I have something, you know, off the record here, you know? Oh, did Karen come in the comments again? People are like saying, I see everybody being there. Hold on. Yeah. But like, they could have said any number of things during these interviews and just said, this is off the record. We don't want to talk about this right now. Right? Something like that. What if she said that during those 40 minutes, they're telling them about the feds, about their conversations with the feds, and they say, we're not supposed to be talking about this with you guys. So this is completely off the record. You cannot publish this. The feds have asked us not to talk about this, but they're targeting Michael Morrissey. Imagine that. I hope they catch the fish. I almost hope they catch the fish. I kind of want to see what's on there. Imagine that. That would be like, because what else? Because I can imagine the defense say, we'll talk about what you want, but the federal stuff, we can't go on record with that. We cannot go on record with that. That would be fucking awesome. Like, that's like when they found my phone and they go through it and they're going to see all my text messages where I'm like talking about the federal investigation. Shit I know that they don't know. Like, that would be awesome.
The defendant enjoys many privileges, but when an accused decides to cast aside their privileges, they don't get to add their own layer of protection. There's absolutely no basis in our jurisprudence for a defendant to be able to do that. They enjoy a Fifth Amendment privilege as they should. A defendant is presumed innocent. But when they cast it aside, it's at their own peril. They have an attorney-client privilege. But when they obviate the attorney-client privilege by speaking in front of a third party that's not part of the prosecution team, that privilege no longer exists. It dies. And there is no reporter privilege in Massachusetts. And so what has happened in this interview is that we have 3 attorneys, a defendant, and a reporter having a free reign of interview, and then later deciding what parts of the interview they want the public to hear, what parts of the interview they want the Commonwealth to have possession of. They don't have, respectfully, that choice or that power or that discretion.
Okay, Hanky.
With each other,
Yeah.
their own side agreements and what they want about on and off the record.
Yeah, okay.
Never
Yeah.
has it, never will. We don't agree to it.
Oh,
So we have
ooh.
many instances and examples where those redacted portions are critical to understanding why the story at times changes after the redactions. And so I think of it this way. If Ms. Voss was called to testify by the Commonwealth at trial, and we have her on the stand, and I was to say to her, I've received your recordings and redactions, and I read your article, Ms. Voss. I want to ask you about the conversation after Ms. Reed talks about sipping drinks at the waterfall, and it's redacted. I want you to tell me what she said. There could be no objection for the defense that there's a private agreement. There could be no objection from the defense that somehow it's privileged. She would have to answer the question, this is what Karen Reed told me. So to suggest that pre-trial, somehow they can have this protection that doesn't exist in reality in the law, to protect statements that the defendant or the attorneys made that they don't want the Commonwealth to learn about, is just wishful thinking. That's all it is. And, you know, I'm not oblivious to the fact that there are a number of statements that are made that are redacted to Ms. Voss where the defense attorneys are present.
Oh, yeah.
There is no attorney-client privilege at that point. There's no-
Okay.
Arguably, all 3 of the attorneys are witnesses as well.
Oh.
Commonwealth is not heavy-handed. The Commonwealth does not want to disrupt the defense team.
Okay.
Commonwealth does not want to
Thank
hold
you.
trial.
Thank you,
The
Hank.
Commonwealth does not want to put an attorney in an uncomfortable position. But they're all witnesses to a substantive statement. Many of them admissions of guilt, contradictions, all of them. In the most respectful way to pursue those, the strongest way, the fairest way to pursue those, with moderation, is to get them from Emily Voss in the interview that exists. Now, in the pleadings, I received the response this morning. I didn't get to read the entire thing. I have no objection to it. But I did listen to the hymn. And it strikes me that the argument of the newspaper company was primarily based on 2 propositions. Number 1, Commonwealth versus 𝗀𝗏.
Well, that's a good question.
Those cases, when you read them,
Okay.
they're confidential informants.
Yeah,
And
okay.
respectfully, there was no case to be produced because there is none. The cases are dissimilar. There's a strategic strategy to sell their story and disseminate to the public.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The way they thought best fit their needs.
Yeah.
And they've done this continually. And although an attorney cannot produce evidence to the public or encourage it, it violates the rules of professional responsibility. They cannot have a statement that is meant to reach a potential jury. The defendant can. The Commonwealth does not resent that Ms. Reed has made statements to all.
So they're so mad about, like, that Karen Reed is winning the war in the media, you know, because the facts are on her side, you know, and let's face it, I'm really good at my job, and that is to tell the truth. And they don't like that. They weren't counting on me. They were counting on Jonathan Hall and company to just carry the water for the government. That's what they've always counted on. They weren't counting on something called Turtle Boy to come along and just tell the world the truth. They don't like that. I was the X factor that they couldn't control. You know, it was going to come, a lot of stuff was going to come out in Dateline and stuff like that too. But I'm the real person that they're upset about, you know, doing this.
All of these different outlets. She's entitled to, she's presumed innocent. She can make all the statements she wants. But when she does, there is a consequence for that.
Oh, consequence.
They now bear the consequence of these statements that have been made. And so, since it is not a confidential informant, it's a very public, identified person, it's Ms. Reed herself. The argument of Doe and promulgation has no merit. I know Your Honor was troubled by the affidavit of Ms. Boston that she was afraid for her safety. And from a personal
There we go.
In this case, firsthand, I've never seen anything like this, where witnesses have to fear walking out of their car.
Oh, please. Witnesses have to fear walking out of the car. Nobody's in fear, douchebag. Not one of these motherfuckers is in fear. They're ashamed. They're humiliated. They killed a cop. Okay. That's the way. That's what happens when you kill people, is people don't like you. Okay. That's why. So he's pushing this whole thing about like witness intimidation. Oh yeah. This is the best they got. The witnesses people are being mean to them.
It's repugnant. It undermines the fabric of the judicial system. But Ms. Ross isn't alone, and I have empathy for her. Almost every witness, civilian witness of the Commonwealth, has sustained similar or far more egregious.
Oh, there's the face.
It's awful to think the level of harassment and intimidation that someone must suffer because they're simply a witness in a case.
Shut up.
To Ms. Ross, but to every other witness in this case, she's in no different position. It does not impede the progress of the Commonwealth. It does not impede the fact-finding mission. It's unfair. It shouldn't happen. Something should happen to result, but it has no bearing on the analysis in this case. It just doesn't.
Like, oh, the poor witnesses. Motherfucker, I had men with guns come to my house, invade my home, take my devices. I was incarcerated for 2 months, and I've committed all because I come on YouTube and I say things that people don't like. Oh, but the witnesses, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. They're fine, Hank. You'll be fine. Adam Lowry's going to get you your sandwich. You'll be good. Shut up, you whiny little cunt. Oh, you people with the witness intimidation. It's all fake. Chris Albert's not in fear of anything. Chris Albert loves this shit. He loves it. He absolutely fucking loves it. He was born to be a douchebag. He lives for confrontation. He loves every single second of this, which is why he hasn't resigned from the select board, because he lives for this shit. Stop it.
And so there is a ton of conversation that has been redacted arbitrarily by parties that want to use what's in their best interest, but cover up what doesn't help them. The Commonwealth is entitled to it, and we're seeking it, and we want it. We want all the redactions from the first and second interview. Over 75% of the second interview is redacted. We want the notes from the third interview. Ms. Ross is a witness. She wasn't at the scene. She didn't see Ms. Reed drive into John O'Keefe and leave him in the snow, but she's a witness to substantive statements.
Because it didn't happen. No one saw it. Ironically, no one saw Karen Reed do that or heard it, nor was it caught on any Ring camera videos. But okay, go ahead.
And those notes evidence the statements of Ms. Reed. They're clearly discoverable. And the email or text message and phone call, again, statements of the defendant. Ms. Ross, reporter or not, is a witness in this case to some of the most crucial damning evidence in this case. We're entitled to it. We take no exception for it. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Birch.
All right, so we're not going to list this guy. This is the one that Auntie Bev wanted to bang. I am going to skip his shit because he's not that interesting. Makes some good points. The defense, meanwhile, is just like, okay, whatever. Oh, this, and they made Hank read. They're like, we had reading time with Hanky a couple times where it's like, we had to stop for 3 minutes while he reads something. He didn't come to court prepared. He hadn't read a lot of these filings. And this is the best that they have, is this guy.
This posits two separate ideas, the way I interpret it. The first is the Commonwealth says it needs more audio because the redacted audio provided thus far, it contains no damaging omissions by Reed. The audio provided thus far contains many damaging omissions to Reed.
No, it doesn't.
In her first interview with 𝗵𝗇 she talks about when she dropped John off and where she dropped him off.
Oh, it's his
noticeable in many interviews. The story changes. At one point, she has them going to the side door of the house. In fact, in 3 of the interviews, he's going to the side door.
Look at my face.
In a further interview, she says he went to the front door of the house.
The fuck?
There's a reason. The stories and the versions given by Ms. Reed evolve in time. Coincidentally, they evolve sometimes with the production of Discovery.
I'd like to point out real quick, Spanky. Okay. So, Exhibit A behind me. You will notice there are two doors here. Okay. The first door is like right here. This is what is called the front door. Okay. This one right behind me is the front door. Now you see this one right here, that one, that's the one John walked inside. That's called, she called it the side door because, you know, because it's on the side of the front door, which is this one. That's the front door. That's the side door. You know, kind of like it rhymes like it's like the side whore. You know, it rhymes with that. Like the fake victim. You know what I mean? So it's on the side. It's not the main one. That's what when she said the side door. See, there's no actual side door. It doesn't exist. You know, in the sense that you're thinking, but it is on the side of it. Like, is this guy fucking serious? That's the best that he has? Like, bro, I'm embarrassed for you. Stop listening to Twitter trolls.
So I am not suggesting for a second that there are no damaging statements by Ms. Reed. In fact, there are confessions, there are admissions, and there are contradictions based on later statements given. And so all I can simply say is that is not the Commonwealth's position. That is stated wrongly. Also, or if he feels that she was not entirely forthright in her unsworn press interviews with Voss, well, we're entitled to take her statements with Ms. Voss and compare them to all the other statements she made. 2020, Vanity Fair, Dateline, and others. And so the question isn't whether her statement to Voss or Ms. Voss is accurate. It is in comparison to other statements. Is it accurate? And we know that it's not. There are many instances where she has given different statements between versions. Also internally, in Ms. Voss's interview, as I mentioned, there's statements, redaction, a return, and a different statement. For example, she was only sipping.
Here we go. Watch this.
Drinking. And then after a redaction interruption, she's sipping water. Sipping water at the waterfall. As incredulous as that may be.
Incredulous.
Something happened during that redaction that changed.
It's incredulous that she would have a sip of water. Like, what? Oh my God. Because no one's ever had a sip of water at the bar. Nobody's asked for like, can I get a beer and a cup of water too? Nobody's ever done that before. He cracked the case. Spanky's got to figure it out. He's got to figure it out. I am going to have so much fun fucking with this guy in trial 2. Like, welcome to your new reality, Spanky. You are going to be, I don't know if you knew who I was before this, but I'm the guy who's here to regularly humiliate you every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. and for subscribers in the sex cult on Thursday nights at 9:30. That's what I'm going to do. You had a reputation before this. You had a good reputation. I'm the guy who's going to come on here and tens of thousands, maybe over 100,000 on some episodes on good nights, especially during the trial. And we are going to humiliate you and mock you. And your wife is going to watch it and she's going to be like, oh my God, that's my husband. Stop being mean to my husband. I used to be turned on by him and you're just emasculating him. Leave Spanky alone. Leave Spanky alone. Like, that's you, Spanky, you chose this, my dude. You chose this. You had a really good reputation and I'm here to fucking destroy it like that. And welcome to your new reality, son. Ice up, son.
Admission, drinking alcohol, which is part of this case, to something with water. And so I think that the claim in this motion really has no relevance to the analysis. It's not on point. The reason I said it was a 2-hour interview, and I'll accept that I'm wrong, is when I listened to the FTR tape, counsel respectfully said it's a 2-hour interview. And that's where I got my information from. Voss's affidavit. So it may have been a 1-hour interview, which still leaves us with 1/3 of the yeah, that is significant. The Commonwealth comes back, we're entitled to come back when we want to be on good faith basis and if the court invites us. We come back now after I've had a chance to actually listen to the 4 hours of interview, or you add them up, 3 hours and 40 minutes of interview. I've studied them, I've listened to them many times.
Oh, he studied.
I perused the transcripts, compared the two. I compared them to all the other statements. So time has now made these much more relevant than they maybe initially thought. I can't speak for the Commonwealth at that point. To the full force of our proof. We don't have to just take some. We don't have to take a fraction. Just because it's inconvenient or uncomfortable for parties, the government is entitled to the full force of their proof.
He talked a lot. Holy shit.
The full force of our proof in every aspect.
Oh my God, this guy talks so much.
Hearing that counsel for Ms. Voss and for the publication said that the third interview they discussed, and the parties, meaning that if they wanted to, they could use that material, they just decided not to. Because they decided not to use incriminating information in their story.
All right, hold on.
In the publication said that the third interview they discussed, and the parties, meaning the defense attorneys, the defendant, the defense attorney, the defendant, and his boss could decide to use that material. It wasn't that it was precluded or no one could ever see it. It's only if it helped them. And so he said that they agreed that if they wanted to, they could use that material. They just decided not to. Because they decided not to use incriminating information in their stories.
Incriminating?
They power to decide who does and when they do. So we're entitled to the full force of our proof, and we're going to pursue it.
How does he know it?
All this information. There is no legal argument against it.
How does he know it's incriminating? There's no legal argument against the none. We'll find out. Again, I don't care if they get it or not. Like, go ahead, play it all. But
Little asked if you wanted to say anything. I just give you that opportunity. Was there anything you wanted to add? Okay. All right. So that is taken under advisement. Now we have 3 more motions. I understand Mr. Albano is here.
all right, so he does the same thing with the TV. He wants the Dateline interview. He wants the freaking 2020 interviews, and this guy doesn't seem to understand that there's like affiliates for, and like he wants it from NBC 10. Like Sue O'Connell's going to hand it over. What? Like Eli Rosenberg's going to give it to you? No, dude. NBC's in New York City. I don't know if you know that. It's like it's a big company. This is a subsidiary of NBC. Like you got to get it through them, which is owned by a whole different company. And he's like, no, actually, I don't think it's going to work that way. I don't think it's going to work that way, but we'll find out. And again, you're going up against their attorneys, not even Karen Reed. So we're just going to skip over that part. Oh, actually, did she make a funny face here? What's she making a funny face about? Hold on.
Oh, she felt she struck something.
Okay.
Ms. Little, you don't expect to argue. Okay. If you change your mind, just stand up. Okay. So, Mr. Albano, do you want to be heard after each argument, or do you want to just be heard at the end of the 3? There are 3 motions. FXT TV, Boston 25, WCVB TV, Hearst Television Incorporated and ABC, and NBC 10 Boston. Okay, thank you. And again, on these, Ms. Little, you don't expect to argue. Okay. If you change your mind, just stand up and let me know. No,
and its employees conducted an interview of William and Janet Reed. I quoted on subsection 5 some of the language.
Okay. All right.
And during my quote, it says, during your first discussion with Karen. It should say, during your first discussions with Karen. There's an S, I thought.
Ooh.
Nevertheless, during your first discussions with Karen, did you believe she may have hit John?
Did she believe?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you said, did you believe?
Then I misspoke. My apologies. Did she believe she may have hit John? William Reed responded, no, she felt she struck something. She said, Dad, I think I struck something. I said, what do you mean, right? This was in the hospital, right? She says, I remember, all right, backing up and hitting something. I've had the benefit of at least looking at the phone records that are available for Karen Reed and seeing there was a phone conversation that morning to William Reed's phone. That phone conversation is before Karen Reed is admitted to the hospital. And so it is by inference in the back of a police car at the scene.
What?
Now there's some ambiguity during your first discussions. The operative word as I see it is first. It is a particularly remarkable statement to make that in the throes of realizing
real remarkable
the great tragedy that's unfolding with John O'Keefe lying in the snow dying, that the comment of thinking that they hit supposedly now another car in the driveway hours earlier would be the topic of conversation at that point.
Why would that be? Wait, he's saying it doesn't make sense why she would tell her dad, I think I hit something earlier in like what? Okay. So yeah, go ahead. Put Bill Reed on the stand. Maybe he can explain that for you. Let's see how that works out for you. Give it a shot.
There is not a fair inference that would be the subject matter. It is not a fair conclusion that a person would be so fixated on a mere nudging of another car that caused no damage hours earlier.
That caused no damage.
Potential loss of life.
That caused no damage. It broke the taillight. Is he honestly arguing that? Okay.
And so I think it is reasonable to infer that that was actually not the complete statement. The conversation lasted on that morning for over a minute, and there was certainly conversations after. And so the defendant's father has, as he's entitled to, utilized media to try to sell a story to help his daughter. And during that airing, it is clear and obvious that not the entire conversation with William Reed has been provided. During these stories, oftentimes there is summaries to progress the episode much quicker. And so all of the statements, which may not be a lot, but all the statements to that employee of Fox 25 who did the interview should be discoverable so that this will be a witness at trial. He will be asked.
Oh yeah, sure he will. Look at him. Look at him nodding his head. Look at him nodding his head. Look at him. Boss. Boss.
Made to this network or this employee. And so the Commonwealth or anybody who would be questioning him would be just simply left to the whim of his answer. And
Okay.
I'm not satisfied to do that. I do not think there's any question. He is not independent.
So he's not satisfied, but neither is his wife. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. Have you had a chance to read Mr. Albano's opposition this morning? It's not very long.
Okay. I'm going to skip
Do you have the paper?
forward a little bit.
New York. That is irrelevant to the assessment
Yeah.
of this case.
Okay. Yep.
I can understand the company would like to remove this to New York. There is a report.
Okay. We're going to skip a lot of this. What happened there? Why is it paused? Oh, wait.
Order you travel to New York and New York decides.
Oh, Kim Fair is seen at some point, isn't she? Hold on.
A second case, which I think, so that's what tells us that. And as to the
Oh, there he is. There's Robert DeBruce's dad. That's him right there, isn't it? What did Jackie Chinless do to him?
things are pretty much under control with the other motions. WBTS, which is NBC 10, has previously published those promotion ads, roughly relevant enough to come anymore. So the
Oh, wait, there she is. There she is. There she is. Look at her. She's so, oh my God. She's like something out of she's like a cartoon villain, isn't it? Look at her. Oh my God. She's like a Disney, like evil stepmother kind of thing. She got that vibe to her. Like she's definitely the bad guy in a Disney movie. Ugh.
They have one statute here. The statute says this is happened by Hearst Corporation, her company, her.
All right.
The Commonwealth's notice regarding the testing of the telematics system. Where do we stand with that?
So they're going to get these done on December 2nd. December 2nd.
We're going to test all of the chips, and there's an SD card that we expect to give it even more fulsome reading.
Thank you.
December 2nd, they're getting that test.
Mr. Jackson, if you have the answer to this, the transcripts of the sidebar conferences. Ms. Little, do you have it?
And so I believe, and I'll have Mr. Jackson correct me.
Mr. Jackson, did you file
It is,
applications in possession, custody, and control of the Commonwealth by 11/27, right?
yes, Your Honor, I provided the defense this morning with a response to their motion. We'll file it with the clerk. I have a production that I'd like.
Executive order. I have not seen this document, obviously, nor the proposed order.
Right. There are a couple of issues related to this motion. In
Ah.
the order that I'd like to address the court that I've briefly.
So this is about Morrissey. Now's the good shit. They can save the best shit for the end about the Morrissey emails. Again, this is all from me, right? This is all from the Turtle Boy. We crack again. This is why we cracked the case with this. We found out that Michael Morrissey was using a burner email to have conversations with judges that were not, that the defense was not part of. And again, I did listen to Court TV tonight because they were talking about this and the panel was on there. Nick Rocco explained it all. And then Plevin came on and he's like, well, it's okay that they had these ex parte conversations because the defense was in contact with Turtle Boy and they would have told Turtle Boy about it. So that's okay. Like, bro, you can't, that's not how it works, Plevin. You're not allowed to have secret meetings with judges. Like when you're the district attorney and you're prosecuting a murder case, you can't have secret communications with judges. That's not how it works. Even if you think that they're working with Turtle Boy, even if that, you don't just get to make up special Turtle Boy rules. That's not how this thing called the law works. Okay? But go ahead.
Discuss with Mr. Brennan.
I haven't read this yet, so I won't know what you're talking about.
So I believe you have read our motion, right? The motion.
I read your motion.
Right. So it's just in relation to the motion.
All right.
So, Your Honor, generally speaking, we do not have an objection to a protective order as long as it is issued without prejudice, which I believe Mr. Brennan is in agreement with.
All right. Is there one here? Was there a proposed protective order?
I have it right here, Your Honor. Mr. Brennan put this test this morning.
So I have not reviewed that, Your Honor, but I'm asking that the contents be allowed to be shared with the entire defense team, including our attorneys, our interns, and our client. I don't believe Mr. Brennan has an objection to that, but that would be our request with regard to the protective order, with the understanding that we could come back before the court and revisit that if we deem it appropriate.
Is there any objection to the sharing with?
There's no objection to parties like sharing with clients.
Yes, and with regard to the motion itself, Your Honor, I have come prepared with an argument for the allowance of the motion. Given Mr. Brennan's, the work that he's done in terms of trying to gather this material and get it to us along with the protective order, I assume that there's no general objection to the motion. So I don't need phone. Currently, there is one work cell phone and one personal cell phone. Obviously, the personal cell phone becomes relevant because you use the personal email address to make an ex parte communication with the court.
Yes.
The concern that we have is that we were told this morning that with regard to Mr. Morrissey's text messages, not emails, but text messages, apparently they're somehow remarkably set to auto-delete after 30 days. That obviously raises some questions for us, maybe the subject of future motion, but more immediately, the concern is every day that passes, we're losing text messages from 30 days prior. So, through today, I
Can they be
believe.
preserved, Mr. Brennan?
I did preserve this entire past last week.
All right, so that.
Yes.
Like what? His messages auto-delete? This motherfucker is going to be like, oh, my messages are all gone. He's already come up with a lie. The messages auto-delete. What? Is that a setting? Does anyone know if that's a real setting where you can make it so that every 30 days your messages delete? Why would he have that? Why? It's so weird how these people just delete everything. The only people who haven't deleted anything from their phones are the Reed family. That's it. That's a real setting? Okay. I'd never heard of that setting before. But of course he has that setting on. How convenient. Yeah.
That deals with that issue.
And by the way, the fact that he's like, well, we've addressed that and it's not happening anymore. We don't need the new shit. Since he's become aware that we're aware of this, obviously he's not going to be deleting anything now. Okay.
So the only remaining issue, Your Honor, is with regard to the searches that Mr. Brennan ordered conducted or conducted himself. He had searched for all emails sent from Michael Morrissey's iCloud personal email to any emails that had a JUD in the suffix of the email address.
The significance of that is?
The significance is that would supposedly capture any ex parte communications with members of the judiciary or the clerk's office, and I appreciate that effort. However, we think we assert that it's insufficient. We believe that searches should be done of his iCloud email for the name Reed, spelled R-E-A-D correctly, or Reed R-E-E-D, which is how Mr. Morrissey typed it in his ex parte communication with the court.
Yeah, you like that? I mean, this is the Turtle Boy. All this shit came from Turtle Boy. Oh, Turtle Boy's not real news. Motherfucker, it sounds like it's real news. Sounds like it here. Why is he using private emails to do that?
I don't know if he did that for the purpose of avoiding a FOIA request or if he just misspelled my client's name, but we believe there should be a search for both of those spellings. And in addition, we also believe there should be a search of his email address, personal email address, for the names of the relevant witnesses, and we can give the court a list, for the names of all judges who have sat on this case. In terms of, is there an attempt to communicate with the judge? Personal email account, like he used a personal email account. And then also we believe there should be a search for any clerk's office employees for the same reason, both the Stoughton District Court where this case originated and this court as well. We have obviously reason not to trust Mr. Morrissey in light of his actions using this personal email account to make an ex parte communication. And we ask that a more thorough search be done for these types of communications.
All right, so why don't you continue to talk with Mr. Brennan and we can have a hearing on this motion if there's anything that you still need on December 12th when we're back here for the docket hearing.
That's fine. Thank you.
Does that make sense, Mr. Brennan?
Take extensive steps to do this myself to accommodate the defense in the most prompt fashion. And I'm going to do that. They want to discuss how I can accommodate them. I'll do my best.
All right. So we will see everyone December 12th. So when do you expect to get me and your response by next week? All right. Anything else? So if you sign it, then I'll endorse it. So since you're here.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So, yeah. Again, my take on it today is that, like, yeah, I mean, not much came out of this really, but, and I don't really care what she rules on any of this shit because it means nothing. Nothing is going to be affected. All they did today was show their hand. They got like 7-2 offsuit. That's what they got. They got nothing. So thanks for making that clear. You guys got nothing. You got nothing in the first trial. You're going to the second trial with less, apparently. Good luck. Just let me know how that one goes. Okay. Now we're going to get to the Valentinas shit. Let me just read some turtle chats here. Okay, if we have any. Lacey sends $5, goes, Hosslong to Mr. O'Keefe sit through the hearing. He lasted about 45 minutes, and then he was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I noticed Paul social distancing from his wife, probably because she found out about the Randolph bartender. Also, I think he's pissed you missed your tea time with him. Womp womp. I know. We'll make it up. Thank you. Jen sends $11 and goes, this is the other half of the Turtle Twins. Hi, Jess. We both really want people to have the best holidays with their friends and family. Be kind to each other and remember why we're all here. To finally say Karen Reed is free. Yes. Thank you very much. Other half of the California Twins. Thomas Autonomous Anonymous sends $5 and goes, can you ask Hank next time? Does he think he can outsmart Karen Reed? Too soon? Yeah, they think they're going to get us on that. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me with that? Karen Reed never told me to do shit. I say, come on. We say shit sometimes when we're mad. Karen Reed never told me to do anything. Give me a break. No one controls me, baby. I say whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. Anyway, and I'll testify to that. And I'll take a lie detector test to that. How about that? So thank you very much for that. A-Rod Rodriguez sends $10, goes, Brennan is a horrible lawyer. Number 1, Shannon didn't know bytes from bits. Number 2, asking for phone records that they already have. Number 3, thinking Karen went to the ABC, NBC and confessed with her high-powered attorney sitting right there. I know exactly. It's so stupid, A-Rod, isn't it? Awesome. Mr. Hanky Panky, the Christmas poop. Woo! Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poop says, I really crapped out in court today. You did, but you'll get better. Probably not, but maybe you will. A-Rod Rodriguez sends $10 and goes, KR only said to Jonathan, it's a joke to think that she made a confession and it wasn't handed over by the court, by the reporters to the Commonwealth. Karen Reed's statement to Jonathan did not say anything about multiple conflicting statements. By the way, tell the fucking trolls the defense did not oppose to any of the Commonwealth's requests for this information. I know. Yeah, notice that they didn't oppose it. Isn't that interesting too? Almost as if they're like, sure, go ahead. Wish a motherfucker would. Jen Kelly. I know. I already read that one. Okay. Jen McQuackle's Clutched Pearls sends $5 and goes, I wish Bill was my dad. Hashtag free Karen Reed. Hashtag read a book. Thank you, Aidan. My pleasure. Thank you. Lydia sends $5 and goes, Brennan got hanky spanked. How about he disproves the Crash Daddies? I know that's going to be a much bigger thing, dude. I rewatched the Crash Daddies last couple days, and man, they're good. I forgot. We need to relive the Crash Daddies because it's just, they're so good. And Lally was so bad at cross-examining them. And I think Spanky's going to be even worse. So there's that. Okay, next up. Fuck that nerdy bitch Brennan and his hoe ass cuck Lally. I'm with you, Lydia. I'm with you. Alex sends $5. I know I already got that one. Okay. Let me read the any turtle chats here from the Cash App. No. Okay, cool. All right. We are going to watch some Valentinas porn here because it's just too good. Listen to this guy talk about a meltdown. We're going to get to him. I got to take another leak, though. I'm not going to lie. I broke the seal, if you will. I will be right back. I'll put on a different video this time. Where can we get here? Let's listen to my old friend Brett.
It's just with her, it's these little sycophants she has, like the pudgy guy that ran away from my show when you showed up. You remember that? What's this drama douche or whatever the fuck his name is?
Corrosive.
Yeah, corrosive cunty. Yeah.
Yeah.
All these little fans, like you said, it's the legion of unfuckable losers. That's all it is. You look at everyone in her crew, and they just buy it. They don't give a fuck about the kid getting fucking fiddled on the roof by her brother. They don't care about the abuse, the arrests.
No.
None of it matters. See, this is why I enjoy all this. I love seeing her fucking crumble.
Yes.
Like, I cannot wait for the day to where I hear that either she had a total mental breakdown, ended up in the psych ward, in the wing they probably named after her daughter by now. She's been there so many fucking times.
Yeah.
And she does this shit to everybody. Maybe she doesn't do it directly. She has her little peons do it. But she muckraked my dead sister-in-law, my whole family, my mother, like all that, and then cries about shit.
Yeah.
Well, you earned this, kid. You've earned every bit and more of it.
Yeah. And by the way, here is the call. All right. All right. So let's carry on with the show. If anyone else wants the Dono's Red for the final read, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $, Uncle Turtle Boy. Let's just jump right into this shit, shall we? Okay. So my manager, or former manager, I guess, Valentinas, who has gone insane, and I'm here for it. And I'm not the only one who's had a negative opinion of this guy. My friend Steve Robinson, former producer of the Howie Carr show and the Kirk Minahan show. Steve lives in Maine, or is from Maine, and runs this organization that he started called the Maine Wire. And Valentinas lives in Maine. And so, there's only so many people that can live in Maine. And he sent me a thing about it. And I'm like, okay. No, let me see. Wrong thing here. Robinson. So he said, how is Valentinas as an agent? I saw you didn't like this Phelps dude. And I said, oh, the worst. He goes, I go, you know him? And he goes, yeah, he's my agent, but only within the very limited purview of a TV or miniseries based on something. I can produce my own stuff without him, which is basically what I've done. He's done fucking dick all. And I go, I just did a tweet thread about it. You should check it out. He goes, fuck me. I think if you recall, we messaged about getting an agent, about you getting an agent. And the reason it was on my mind is because I just signed with this asshole. He's done jack shit. Nothing. I can't even remember the last time I talked to him. I might text him and just say, I saw Turtle Boy's thread. Will you agree to terminate whatever the deal was? Or do I need to get lawyers involved and join Turtle Boy publicly? Then he goes, how do he find you? What's he done? Nothing. That's the thing. That's why I even considered his offer. His deal was that he only gets paid if there is a content deal. My attorneys limited it to just video content with no limitations placed on what I can do via the main wire. My thinking was we'd release our own thing and maybe he could dangle it in front of a bigger content company for a mini series or something. We screened a fucking 90-minute movie on the topic that he's supposed to be shopping to Hulu and Netflix. And he not only didn't come to the screening, he hasn't even asked to see it. It's clear. Yeah. It's like, bro. So and then he messages me the other day and yesterday, and he goes, what a meltdown. And it's like, I go, how is this guy a real lawyer? He goes, better question is, how did both of us get conned? And it's like, cause he's convincing. I don't know. He sounds like he knows what he's talking about, but his company Mom's Basement, I think that might be where he lives. I think in hindsight. So he went on Plevin's show. Oh my God. And he thought this would be a good idea. So again, Valentinas is the guy who said he was going to get me on a big podcast with this big guy named M. William Phelps. I'm like, okay, cool. Never heard of him, but you're my agent or whatever manager. So I trust you. And he's like, oh yeah, I got it. Big shot. We're going to make so much money. We're going to kill it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then Phelps comes over and we interview and, you know, all this stuff, and it has bombed. It's been McAlbert nonsense. Like you guys want to hear the clip from the latest one? Like, actually, let me, the new one is, so Phelps accidentally released part of his show, this part 7, and it's getting even more ridiculous. I'll show you here.
Like some sort of draft. Wouldn't talk to me, but Jennifer McCabe, like she's a saint. You just got to hear the music.
So he interviews 𝗫𝗄𝗯 and just listen to the music he plays and the story, the anecdote she tells about the McCabe's. Like, this is what he considers finding the truth.
Troubling issues surrounding this case, for which I've never seen.
The veteran who's on the front lines in the Iraq War.
Oh, Albert.
Stellar career.
Listen to the music.
Stellar career. Sports as well. They all did. All of these
sports. They're such great people.
You know, 𝗄𝗄 Sports. He, you know, just stellar career that now has just been destroyed.
Poor guy.
Because of this.
And okay, so what else about Jennifer McCabe and Matt
listen to the music. Listen to the music.
This whole thing.
When you
Anything you want to share?
When you hear the Matt story.
I think one of the
here it is.
One of the ways that completely describes Jen and Matt McCabe is just how normal they are, but also
normal.
How ridiculously kind they are. I was at Jen and McCabe's house recently, and Jen and I were just having coffee and talking one morning.
Not working.
And I see Matt out of the corner of my eye running around the kitchen, making coffee, putting 2 coffees in mugs. I have no idea what he's doing. I'm kind of watching him, but Jen's talking. And he, you know, runs out the door, and I said to Jen, what is he doing? And she said, oh, every week he makes coffee for the trash man.
For the trash man.
And they talk outside for.
You know, the trash man doesn't have a name. He's just the trash man. Kind of like the man tell him the guy didn't come in the house. The trash man. So he He makes coffee for the trash
15
man.
minutes, and
They talk.
they
Oh
would
my
have their
God.
coffee together.
Oh my God. He
And I
drinks with
remember,
the garbage
I don't know
man.
why, but that hit me so hard, and I got like a little teary because this is the man and the woman that the world has been
Oh, they can't commit murder.
misled to believe
Yeah.
are stone cold murderers.
Yeah, they can't commit
just-
murder.
I mean,
They drink
slandered
coffee with the
every
trash
single
man.
day, every hour.
He cracked the case. He's just following the facts, guys. He's just following the facts.
After she began posting her responses to what Kerry views
it's
as
too- again,
rumor, speculation,
again,
and
we're
flat
like-
out lies on social media.
So anyway, we're like, again, this is like,
This I can't even. It's like now he's just fucking with us. Now he's just like, I am gonna put out the most pro 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗺 propaganda. Like, so I went to Phelps and I'm like, bro, this podcast is like a joke. This is like wicked pro 𝗵𝗵𝗏𝗺 nonsense. I don't want to be associated with this. He's like, it's fine. Phelps is a pro, dude. Phelps is the best. And this is a guy, Valentinas, who was sucking my dick for years, telling me how awesome I am, sending me stories, ideas, telling me I'm brave, telling me the Commonwealth locked me up because they're afraid of me because I'm exposing them so much. And so I'm like, okay, so me and Valentinas are on the same page. And I'm like, boy, tell your boy to come correct. Tell your boy what's he doing here? You know what I mean? And Valentinas is just like, all of a sudden, he's like, you're just following the facts, man. So he literally wants to fuck Matt Phelps. That is the only, not literally. I think he wants to fuck Phelps. That's my opinion. I can't get in his head, so I don't know for sure if he actually wants to fuck him. But it's the only explanation I can reach. It's just bizarre how much and so for that reason, I'm like, bro, you're not looking out for me in my interests. Like, I don't want to be. I'm like, you're done. You're done, ski. We're out of here. Like, and this is a major conflict of interest because you're messing both of us. So how does he respond to this? He has a complete meltdown on social media and he goes on Plevin's show. And normally I would never listen to Plevin, but this is too good not to listen to. Okay. It's too good. So let's go and listen to it. All right.
I'm going to take it off the screen. The thing is that 𝗺𝗏𝗺 was going to get paid 40% of the download post on where you're building it up. Obviously, how temperature about Massachusetts or this smear, and that's all getting exposed now. Now, that was not part of Matt Phelps' plan, or I don't think you've ever seen it, but that has been the effect. So it has been a very positive effect. And the other thing, even though by and large the public in Massachusetts or in New England isn't watching anybody's podcast or show, if we can. All right, well, I'll talk about just what 𝗺𝗏𝗺 talks about.
So,
in fact, the pause here. I just got a message from Matt.
Watch this. Watch this. So he is sharing. Plevin is sharing my article on his screen. Okay. And my article contains emails, screenshots of emails that Valentinas claims is copyright protected. Okay. Nothing about your messages to me. I can screenshot whatever the fuck you send me and post it online. I never agreed that this would remain private, ever. There's nothing signed by my part that says that this is private. Nothing. And so he complained to to Cloudflare, which is not the appropriate organization that you reply to. And they decided that this was not, it's like, they decided that this is not a copyright violation. So he lost that one. So he's so mad. So Plevin, who has his back, he contacts Plevin. Phelps is like, oh, you got to take that down. You can't share it. You can't share it. Watch this. So watch what Plevin does. He's sharing my blog, and watch this. Watch what he does. And just watch.
Sorry about the pause here. I just got a message from Matt. He doesn't want me going through this. Phelps. So, I don't want to do anything that would harm anybody or make somebody think, to me, I would never share private messages, but these are published. They're already in the public domain.
Yeah. So
let's try to go through this without going over anybody's private messages, if we can. All right. Well, I'll talk about just what 𝗺𝗏𝗺 talks about. In fact, let's do it this way. I'm going to take it off the screen.
He got cucked.
And that way.
He got cucked.
Take it off the screen. And this way, it won't be seeing. And I'll be seeing it. Anybody wants to see it, they can go to TV Daily News. But I won't be showing this anywhere on the screen.
Look at the comments. Look at the comments. Look at the comments. Watch the comments.
Kind of surprised Matt's watching because he basically told me that YouTube is useless.
He told me that YouTube
multiple times.
he agreed to come on my show, but I don't think he ever meant it because to him YouTube is useless. But I don't know. But anyways, I'm not mad about that.
These are the guys that are like, yeah, so Turtle Boy kills it on YouTube, but YouTube's useless. Totally. Nobody uses YouTube. Right. You only listen to podcasts. Right. And so he wouldn't come on a show, and then they're watching Plevin's show, and they text him like, Phelps wants you to take it down. Notice Phelps doesn't text him. Valentinas texts him on Phelps. Is that what he said happened here? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But just look at the comments. Look at the comments of Plevin's fans. Don't let Phelps dictate to you. Wait, what? Why not, Matt? Kevin is giving his insight and standing up for Phelps.
Honestly, if you're still listening, Matt, it wasn't a big deal to me. Well, that was my understanding is that you don't have interest in YouTube.
Phelps is Kevin's boss.
Audience, and these are people that are just interested in the making of the sausage.
Oh.
Right. So we'll just go over this here.
Why? People are like, wow. Watch this.
All right. So Sean.
Twisted Tragedy's broken fridge.
So he's interested in whoever Sean was talking about there.
And you call other people spineless. Ignore him. Read it all. Like you are now also Phelps's bitch. Like this guy's like, if I was Plevin, I'd be like, dude, I have your back. You should be happy anybody's got your back. I'm all set. I'm going to share it. But no, Plevin does as he's told. He obeys. He obeys. He obeys. Don't you, Plev dog? Don't you, Plevster?
Turtle Boy says, I take everything Sean has to say in stride. He makes shit up a lot. He's good with some stuff, but he's made a lot of bold predictions and guarantees that haven't been true.
We want to see. Yeah, show him. Show him, Plev. You're letting him control you?
I'm just trying to get the federal report, seeing if it's leaked somewhere, but no, that stuff is definitely, nobody's seen that except for the judge.
Come on, Kev, put it back.
The defendant's team. I don't even know if Karen's seen it. Probably she has, but their lawyers make clear.
Kevin, as long as it's not illegal, you have a right to do your own thing. This is embarrassing, Plev. You got cucked during the middle of your own show, my dude. You know, like somebody sent me these, like some screenshots of them. Check out these. Somebody says, Kevin, don't let him push you around. You didn't sign any contract. You can and cannot say, back off, Matthew. Yeah, Matthew. Why is this dude, Matt, interrupting your show? And why is he trying to dictate what you can and cannot say? Seriously, he needs to back off. I know. Give it to him, girl. Give it to him. Matt, stop being such a douche. Kevin, don't cower to him. Oh, he cowered. Oh, he cowered. He cowered. You really want to lose us listening to your podcast? Yeah, that's all you got, dude. You should be happy to have anything. You know, leave Kevin alone. The Phelps guy should come onto your show. So he won't come onto your show, and because YouTube's not important, but he's watching your show and he's dictating the content on your show and what you are and are not allowed to do. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. You know, Kevin, I went back and rewatched. You bowed to Phelps. Oh, he bowed. He bowed. He's a grifter trying to cash in. He outright lied to Aidan so he could get access to the case on the cheap. That is exactly what he did. That is exactly what he did. So they figured it out. Even Plevin's stupid followers figured it out. But Plevin hasn't figured it out. Okay. So now let's get to the part where Valentinas finally comes on.
No, this is not something you can leak. Huge audience. So Turtle Boy responds, if he has a huge audience, then what? That has to be explained. If you don't explain this, but anyways, so hook up to the table.
A big thing. I'm gonna need a lawyer. This was
here we go.
Let's try to bring this. Hold on a second. I know it's crazy. It's crazy. So, do you want to respond to? Well, you talk about whatever you want, but do you want to respond to anything that I said, or do you feel it was fair, unfair? Go ahead. Anything you want to talk about?
I guess you kept calling it a partnership. The agreement with Turtle Boy is not a partnership. It's basically just a licensing agreement. He has no creative or editorial control, no say in the matter whatsoever about anything.
Okay.
So
I should qualify that. I didn't mean in the legal sense of a partnership. I just meant in kind of the common sense of it. That's all. I don't know if there may be some differences between that, right? So because
yeah, and also just to be clear, I'm not his attorney. I never was. When I did first reach out to him a long time ago, it was through my attorney email, and he told me, and I explained to him what I do, I can be your attorney or I could be your manager. Because at the time, first time I spoke to him, he said he already had a deal. So I was like, oh, it's too bad. I guess I missed it. But then he's like, I'm going to need a lawyer. And you sound like you know what you're doing, so maybe you can look over my deal. So I had him send me his deal, his original deal they had. And I sort of explained the terms to him and frankly was able to get him out of that deal. But before I did, I told him, do you want me to be a lawyer?
But he didn't get me out of the deal. The deal expired. I signed a deal with Unrealistic, right? And the deal expired, Plev Dog. I mean, Valentinas, and then nothing. And then Compelling Pictures contacted me. You had nothing to do with it. And then you brokered a deal with them in which you get 15% of my labor, basically. Like, you did nothing. You literally did nothing. And you ain't going to get that, by the way. Now that you're not my manager anymore, you ain't going to get shit. Just know that. Like, we're going to play hardball here. You will get nothing from the Compelling Pictures deal, Valentinas. Nothing. I know you think you're going to get paid off it. You will get nothing. And I will get my 40% from the podcast deal. Those are my terms. And I'm getting real lawyers. And so you can deal with them.
You want me to be your manager? And I explained both. We had 2 phone calls about it. He signed a management agreement, which is a 5-page document. And within that document, it says, I'm clearly not your attorney. I'm just representing you as a manager. And I believe I did tell him on the phone to have an attorney look these things over. So, of course, he either doesn't remember or he purposely is leaving those things out. I'm seeing a lot of people on the internet, thinking I was his lawyer and there's some conflict of interest. There's a no conflict of interest clause because obviously managers and agents represent multiple clients who are going out for multiple projects, and sometimes they're in the same project, like in this situation. So that's standard in the entertainment industry.
I don't think it is.
Do you have a official business relationship with Matt Phelps? Like, are you his manager or any other?
Yeah, I'm Phelps' manager as well. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're saying there's obviously nothing unusual about that.
Totally not. Yeah, right.
You're managing different interests, and in this case, you're bringing them together to work on the same project.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, I'm based out of the Boston area. I specialize in life rights and story rights and nonfiction. So like I represent a lot of different people, whether they're selling the book rights or whether they have life story rights. And then I sort of broker those deals to production companies, or to journalists or to authors, right? So I've always, I always track everybody in the New England area. So I mean, I had been tracking 𝗃𝗏 for a while, and I think the first time I came across 𝗃𝗏 was he was posting something against pedophiles, and I had done a documentary in 2014 called An Open Secret, which was it's free on Vimeo now, but it was really the first documentary in Hollywood that kind of preceded Me Too. But I'd like to think we sort of started. I don't want to say we started Me Too, but we were sort of the first. If you've seen the last 2 or 3 years, all these movies about children being molested in Hollywood have started to come out, these documentaries. We were really the first one to do that.
So he's the first one to ever do a documentary about child sex exploitation. Okay. I'm sure you are. Child abuse. And now he's friends with 𝗃𝗏 𝗧𝘂𝗍. There you go.
So that's really been a big thing in my life is really going after pedophiles and outing pedophiles. And we help sort of change the laws in Hollywood. And we've to make people that work with kids be licensed and fingerprinted, and to have Hollywood be sort of more responsible for what they do. I'd like to think that we outed several people. I think if you saw the last documentary that just came out about Nickelodeon, most of that information in the Nickelodeon documentary about their pedophiles came from our documentary. We were the original ones who outed pedophiles in that documentary.
Nobody.
So anyways, that's how I discovered 𝗃𝗏. But I mean, I wouldn't call myself a everyday reader or even a periodical reader. Just once in a blue moon, I would sort of read his stuff. I never really watched the shows. Or that type of thing. So I wouldn't call myself a 𝗃𝗏 writer per se.
You never really watched the show?
I did know who he was.
Stop.
He's kind of like what you guys were doing with
Stop the fight. So he said he didn't know who I was. Hold on.
I would sort of read his stuff. I never really watched the shows or that type of thing. So I wouldn't call myself a 𝗃𝗏 writer per se. But I did know who he was.
Okay, so did know who he was. So he didn't really watch my shows. Let's check the email he wrote me. Let's see what he said in the prison email that he sent me when I was in jail. Let's see if that reveals any truths here. Okay. Let's see. January 19th. Let's see. You're a brave dude, and you definitely push boundaries farther than most would dare to. But you'll come out stronger and wiser. I guess I should not really be that surprised to see them put you in here, given what you've exposed. Oh, thank you. It's the last card they have, and now you have exposed them even further. Anyway, I miss your shows. I miss your shows. He misses my shows, guys. Wait. Now, rewind. What did you just say?
Right. A periodical reader, just once in a blue moon. I would sort of read his stuff. I never really watched the shows.
Or
that type of thing. So I wouldn't call myself a 𝗃𝗏 writer.
He doesn't watch my shows. He misses them. He misses him
per se. But you know, I did know who he was.
Right. So
And,
more is kind of like what you guys were doing with the pedophilia documentaries. You're bringing to light issues that are not covered very well or at all by the mainstream media.
and that's what's called bringing receipts, my friend. Receipts.
And you're recognizing someone in 𝗃𝗏𝗺 as potentially.
Yeah, and I actually think he may, and we may have posted on that account, maybe something he wrote, and he may have reached out to us too. I think.
What?
He may have reached out to my partner who produced it, and maybe that's.
No, I never reached out to you. I don't give a fuck about you. I've never heard about you. You're not important. Shut the fuck up, Valentine.
And how the first time I sort of found out about him because I was like, oh, this guy's in the Boston area, that type of thing.
Yeah.
So that's sort of how I came about knowing him.
As a manager, what are your responsibilities to 𝗃𝗏𝗺?
Not
Not
what I
much.
did for him. I mean, I can tell you, he's going to tell you he already knew. I think he had already met the people at Compelling.
Yeah.
But I basically got him his deal. I got him out of his deal with HBO that had expired and wasn't going anywhere.
I got him out of a deal that had expired. The deal with HBO. Yes, that you. It also expired, but yeah. Besides that, you got me out of it.
And I got him an amazing deal. with a company
Amazing.
called Compelling Pictures.
Amazing.
For documentary and film and television rights for drama and documentary.
With Compelling Pictures, who contacted me, and whose CEO flew to Boston to take me out to dinner in the North End for a meal of food with Tim Bradel and 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗄, my PI. Okay. Who is really the guy. 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗄, my private investigator, is actually the one that knew Jeff. And Jeff was a big fan of Turtle Boy and what I was doing with Karen Reed. And so Jeff flew here to have a meal of food with me in the North End at a lovely Italian restaurant there. It was dope. I'd never eaten there before. It was awesome. And yeah. So, okay. Right. Besides that, it was, you know, you did all the work, Valentine. Sure.
And even, you know, I think Turtle Boy will admit I got him a great deal. I think he's probably spoken with that company and they've told him I got them a great deal.
No,
so I don't even think he will deny that.
No, I would deny that. I actually would deny that. It was a standard deal that anyone with a pulse could have gotten me. That's what it was. You know, I'm gonna, like, if it all works out, I'm gonna get paid nice. Don't get me wrong, but you had nothing to do with it, and you will get nothing from it. And you weren't even invited to the meal of food.
And with that, I reserved the rights to do a podcast, just because the way I like to set things up are sometimes things can just take forever in development. So those other projects are actually, they are moving along at a swift pace, but you know, Hollywood, your project can be hot one day and then dead the next. And I knew with a podcast, we could at least have some control over kind of the timeline on getting that information out. And it's something that we could do in the, you know, within the immediate year, like we have. So that's why.
What really he wanted was, he's like, he's got a partnership with his buddy Phelps, and he's like, Phelps can't get any work on his own. No one wants to hire him. So he's like, oh, there's this huge murder trial going on, and I have like the biggest name involved in the murder trial, and let's just get him on, and then we'll make money off of him, because obviously you're not going to make any money on your own. No one's ever heard of you. You're M. William Phelps. Let's get Turtle Boy on here. Everybody's heard of Turtle Boy. Let's get him on there, and then we'll fucking kill it. Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
I reserved the podcast rights, and that's why I sort of explained to Turtle Boy how that could work to our benefit, and it also could help promote the other materials. And then we were also considering doing a book.
And I think that
no,
none of it
I wasn't.
is,
not you
Turtle Boy
were.
would say that it was in the best interest financially of this project to stay on the side of the conspiracy.
Yes.
And I don't think that he was angry for the financial reasons, but he could make that argument that you guys were going
Yes.
in the wrong.
That's a good question,
business
Plevin.
Best interest.
Yes.
By questioning.
Good job.
I certainly understand that.
Yeah.
And we had several conversations about that.
And you
But
agree.
what I explained to him, and I think if you listen to the podcast as it finishes out, and people have to realize this is a narrative podcast, so there's still a lot that hasn't been said, and there's going to be a lot of answers that will be answered.
Answers.
But
I love how
we
they're
didn't go
like,
into this. Like I know.
I love how they're like, we've all been millions of people have been following this gavel to gavel, know everything about it. But little do we know, some guy named Matt Valentinas and M. William Phelps, who just started following this in like June, they've got the answers that no one else has. Stay tuned. Oh my fucking God.
Turtle Boy's thinking we went in and we kind of bamboozled him or swindled him. I originally came to this thinking, just like everybody else did, that Karen Reed was innocent.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what drew me to this.
Yes.
It was more so, you need something unique. There's a million cases that we could have done, but what was unique?
So, yes, by the end of the trial and before the trial, you saw our emails. They both are sending me things that are suggest that they believe that Karen Reed is clearly innocent. And then they got mad at me and they changed their mind. But besides that, so He acts like he's like, oh yeah, it just changed. No, you changed your mind, Valentinas, because Phelps told you to. Because you will do anything, Phelps says. Anything. He's M. William Phelps, bro. He's a legend.
To this was sort of the social media aspect around it, and sort of the incompetence, I guess you could say, of the Mass State Police, and probably Adam Lally's just, well, I mean, I guess that came later, the terrible prosecution that he did.
He's not going to like
there was a lot of
that.
interesting factors that attracted me to it. So I originally came in with thinking she was innocent. And then the reason why I set him up with Matt Phelps, because later he told me, he's like, Matt, you weren't looking out for my interest because, Phelps turned, or he thinks Phelps turned, and he went in the other direction, and you should have gotten me somebody else. And to be quite honest, I don't think anyone else would have taken Turtle Boy. The reason I was able
anyone else would have taken Turtle Boy, bro. Compelling Pictures contacted me. I had a deal with HBO prior to that. Like, what are you talking about? Are you kidding me right now? I have people left and right asking me to be part of shit. Even the Sandpaper people want me, and they ain't getting it. Period. But yeah, okay, go. No one would want you. You got only you can get. You should be lucky to have M. William Phelps. Okay.
Able to get Phelps is because I do have such a long-standing relationship with him, and because he has his own, like he works with podcast networks, but he also has his own independent network. So if I had tried to pitch Turtle Boy to somebody like Apple or Wondery or iHeart, I think they just would have looked at the liability. Okay.
I did a podcast. It's on Patreon, so it's behind a paywall with NPR. Fucking like before, like a month before this. Like, what is he talking about? They totally get it, by the way.
And they would have probably, I'd say there's a 95% chance there's no way in hell they would have done anything with him. So right now,
you got by attaching Matt, you have the long-term credibility and history that goes with that, which makes it a lot more easier to get somebody like an Apple to attach to it, right?
Well, exactly. So while Turtle thinks it was like an easy thing for me to attach Matt, first of all, I had to sort of convince Matt to do it, and second of all,
you had to convince him.
It's not easy because Turtle Boy doesn't really understand how hard it is to really put together a podcast. He thinks that what he doesn't realize is how much Phelps actually did his own research, and how much Phelps researched on his own, and how much material he has. So when Phelps is asking Turtle Boy for information, a lot of the time most of the time, it's not because he doesn't already have it. It's because he wants Turtle Boy to sort of, he wants Turtle Boy to give him the way that Turtle Boy sort of saw things. Like, we didn't go into this thinking that there was a conspiracy. That word didn't.
Like what? First of all, you absolutely went into thinking it was conspiracy. You said so in the jailhouse email and all the other emails telling me what a great job I did. This guy's just a fucking liar. He's just a liar, a straight up liar. And I got all the emails to prove it. Phelps did nothing. I did all, like he did. He asked the list of shit he asked me to get for him, which was all public and he could get on his own. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. He asked me to track down all these people to speak with because he couldn't do it on his own because he's got no sauces. I mean, the way these guys, they're such a joke. They're just such a joke. And the podcast is bombing. He's got the most popular topic in the world when it comes to true crime, and it's bombing because he sucks.
I'd say that comes after. We went into this thinking, okay, Turtle Boy has some inside information, and he's sort of going to explain his direction to it. But Phelps is also going to do his own investigating. Phelps is going to look for the truth. That's what he always does. And
he always does.
Unfortunately, what happened is what Phelps found kind of goes in an opposite direction from what Turtle Boy was giving us.
What has he found?
I still tried to work with Turtle Boy and explain to him, this podcast is going to be both sides. And, at any time he could have given us more solid information than everything else that he's just said. And unfortunately, I think the way Phelps felt about a lot of what Turtle Boy thinks is evidence is.
It's like the Arca guys, bro. This is Jen McCabe porn. That's all you're playing. Like we're listening to anecdotes. Yeah, you're right. You know what I didn't have? I didn't have an anecdote about Matt McCabe spending 15 minutes with the trash man drinking coffee, which somehow the trash man, the garbage man, doesn't have to do his job. That's just acceptable to his employer. His employer allows him to have 15-minute coffee breaks with 𝗄𝗄𝗆. So says somebody named Carrie Lama.
It's really more just opinion or speculation, right? Or is something
or distorted things put out by the defense in a distorted way,
right? Or things that were clearly provided directly from Karen herself, right? That couldn't be verified through other ways,
right?
So, Turtle Boy doesn't want to hear that. Turtle Boy wants full loyalty, and he wants you to just believe what he says, and that's it. And that's
I did expect my manager to work for my best interests. I did expect some bit of loyalty from the guy who's getting 15% to do nothing. So, I don't know, call me crazy.
Really the way that these things work. And he wasn't able to grasp that. And
does Phelps have a team of people working on this, or is he really stuck doing much of this, the writing, the editing? Does he have a team working on that, or is it's a lot to do there?
Well, he does the writing. He has people that can help with the editing, mostly sound. I mean, he's become more adept at the production side. But he also has a vast network of people throughout the country. I mean, we're talking hundreds of people that are just constantly feeding him information, whether it's attorneys or police or prison guards or investigators. I mean, it's impressive how much information comes in, or forensic scientists or professors or other reporters. It's. I mean, the guy gets information. We constantly is getting cases and information on a daily basis.
He's a fucking legend. The way they build this guy up, and he needs everything handed to him. Besides that, he's a fucking legend. Like, this is hilarious. He's like a cartoon character. I had no idea I was in the presence of such a legend who's currently ranked 134th in the true crime genre. Well, having the hottest. Good luck. Maybe the next episode will sell.
At the end of the day, it's a lot of work to have to go through, and so I've been doing the same thing.
It's been exhausting for him.
Yeah,
He really
all that trial testimony, and then make the clips, and then put them all together. I know how to edit too, but it's a lot of work to do that.
So much work.
Yeah, I mean, he basically put his whole entire summer into this because we have a pretty busy schedule coming up for next year, so we sort of had to get this done. And it would have been a lot better if we had more cooperation from Turtle.
This might be his only client. Like, I'm starting. What's your plans for the future? Oh, me and Valentinas, me and William Phelps have something planned.
Boy, but I think his opinion on the whole thing was like,
he's bigger than
I've already said everything you need to know. Just go look at my website. And then he did sit down with us sit down with Matt for a few interviews, and he did provide him with a few guests. But
yeah, like
normally when we work with other people, they provide us with like entire archives of information.
Yeah, I gave you every single person that you spoke with. Yeah, all of them. I did that. But go ahead.
Information. When you're selling something to a network, it's not just they want to see who the talent is, but they also want to see like entire court transcripts and photographs and all the stuff that's been written in the newspapers.
Yeah, it's all available publicly. You could just look for whatever you want. I've also written 450 articles on it. You can read any of them if you'd like. Or you can just, if you don't trust me, you can just go right on the public records and read those. But okay.
Just all the video and audio you have, and all the notes that you might have, any attorney work product that you can provide. It's pretty extensive. So I just don't think that Turtle Boy really wanted to put in the effort with that.
You say to Turtle Boy's claim that Phelps turned on him, and he listed these weird reasons, like because he didn't have access to Karen or didn't have access to the jurors.
No, that's absolutely 100% untrue.
Oh, okay.
And that's I think that might be something that the first time I heard that story came from his girlfriend Meredith. But maybe that's an excuse he can use for starting to talk about Phelps and sort of insult Phelps and sort of incite his followers the way he did.
Incite.
The last thing he can say, Matt, is that no, Phelps just didn't buy into the evidence. He can't say that. So he didn't look at the evidence to come up with the same conclusion.
No, and I heard him also say like, look, Phelps was mad at me because I didn't give him enough information. Phelps already had most of the information he needed by the first time he sat down with.
He's Phelps, yeah.
So that's Phelps is a professional, and I think maybe Turtle doesn't appreciate that or underestimates that, or he claims he's not familiar with Phelps.
Yeah,
claims, and then I'm seeing like he says things like, oh, Matt said this show was going to beat Joe Rogan. Well, our other podcast actually did beat Joe Rogan, and it was number one. So that's not just a fantastical claim. That's something that we did.
When did what? His podcast beat Rogan? Show me it. Show me the receipts of you beating Rogan. Whatever that means. Oh, my God. Stop it. Come on.
That's why we've got a 5-year relationship.
Congratulations.
With a major podcasting company. So if he had cooperated with us more, I think this would have, I don't understand why he had to take such, I understand that his followers are mad at him, but his followers will do whatever they tell him.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways. And he could explain to them that, like, I understand.
This is what they were counting on, that you guys will just obey. His followers will do. Listen to this shitty podcast that says Jennifer McCabe's a great person. Imagine I said that to you guys. You'd be like, go fuck yourself, Turtle Boy. Get the fuck out of here. Seriously, bro. Come on.
Really, in the short term, maybe that I don't even buy into the fact that we'd make more money doing it the way he wanted to do it.
I don't buy into
with
that.
Just constantly repeating that Karen Read is innocent. Right. Because I think in the long term, this is going to pay off differently. Mm-hmm. And this is
that's just going to pay off differently. Yeah, it's fucking bombing right now. It's doing horribly. And the Vanity Fair article, which did the opposite, was the hottest topic for fucking weeks. Everybody read it, But besides that, and my show is this YouTube show will get significantly more fucking downloads than any episode of 34 Fairview, any episode. But besides that, he's got a feeling it's going to take off because
more of a long-term project, and it's
long-term.
Also, I think a lot of his audience doesn't understand what a narrative podcast is.
Yeah,
a narrative podcast is like a series where it's not really complete until you listen to it all. And I think they think like every episode is just like a weekly episode of Phelps giving his opinion on things. But it
Oh, see, it was a narrative. Yeah, we didn't interview 𝗿𝗄𝗄𝗧. We haven't. Oh, sorry, my bad. We need more Shaun of the Gulf.
You're gonna have these twists and turns and ups and downs, and
yeah, and most people like to binge these things, you know, and I think that's how most of this the largest audience of this will hear it after the final episode has come out.
Right.
And to be quite honest, without really giving anything away, I think we could make the argument that if anyone misled anybody about this case, 𝗃𝗏𝗺 misled us about this case.
Oh,
and I think that's probably what you're going to see in the future.
Ooh, probably.
Yeah, I mean, just the episodes I listened to, he is saying things that were factually debunked in the trial. We have a benefit of having a trial here, and we can go back and look.
Well,
at it.
I also
And,
think
you know,
that 𝗃𝗏𝗺 had access to information that maybe he wasn't sharing with his audience that he knows about things that he potentially, he lied about. So
Ooh, what did I lie?
We've caught him in many. We have many. He seems to think that Phelps is lying about him. We actually have him lying on several things.
Oh,
on tape, in his own words.
Name one thing. Name one
and
thing.
everything that Phelps puts out there is either factual or in 𝗃𝗏𝗺's own words. And this wasn't. We weren't looking to ambush.
Everything he puts out is factual. Like Karen Reed's dad called the police with a fake suicide, lied about his daughter being suicidal so that she would be sectioned. That's factual. According, he's got receipts. What? Yeah, right. That Jennifer McCabe didn't go to. She was actually sleeping that night, even though Apple Health data shows she was walking around. Oh, that's just factual, right?
𝗃𝗏𝗺 at all. Of course, if 𝗃𝗏𝗺 had given us information that was, we could factually prove that Karen Reed is innocent. Great. We don't want to be the subject of all this ridiculous harassment that we're getting.
Oh yeah, no, not a problem. See, there's these two experts from 𝗃𝗏𝗺. They're biomechanics. They proved that science says that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car. Physics. So luckily, you didn't even need me to do that. Science did it for me. So you can, you could listen to the trial. How about that?
Online right now, and of course, my goal has always been to make money. This is really, at the end of the day, I mean, of course, there's
not really
the
working
difference.
out.
I mean, and I think that the main difference here is 𝗃𝗏𝗺's obligation or loyalty in this story is obviously to Karen Reed.
No.
Whereas Phelps,
I've said this from day one. If Karen Reed lied to me, I'd say fuck Karen Reed. If Karen Reed didn't back up what she said, I'd be like, see ya. I'm siding with the cop. Like, why the fuck wouldn't I want to side with? Why do I want to fucking take on the people that can put me in jail? Why would I want to do that? No, Karen Reed. Oh yeah, right. What am I getting out of that? Like what? Stop it.
always come from the point of the victims in the case, which in this case would be John O'Keefe. Okay.
And Karen Reed.
So, and potentially we went into it thinking John O'Keefe.
So he's protecting the victims in this case by, so he's, helping the victims by saying nice things about the woman who helped murder them. Oh, okay. That's helping John.
Victim, and Karen Reed is a victim. But
yeah, she is a victim.
The information that Phelps came across was making it harder and harder to prove that Karen Reed was a victim. And
he's just so full of shit.
Do you think, let me just make a quick statement that I mentioned on another show last night. So when I interviewed with Phelps, he had told me that he had been with 𝗃𝗏𝗺 the whole day, the day before, and he didn't express a single negative opinion of 𝗃𝗏𝗺. So this idea of him having something personal against him, he didn't say one negative thing. I actually was a little worried, got the sense that he might have been under 𝗃𝗏𝗺's spell. And that,
yeah, exactly. Kevin's right. Plevin's right. He was on my side. Like, he fully got it. And then he got mad at me in early September because I wasn't giving him enough. The juror interview, like me publishing that, pissed him off because like I wanted to have that exclusive.
not sure when I interviewed with him, it might have been September or early October. So I don't think he definitely had any personal. But my question to you would be this. Do you think if Phelps had believed, say, even as late as August, that the conspiracy theory was probably false, would he have still proceeded with this project?
What?
What do you mean by superseded? Like,
so I think, I mean, I'm just looking at the messages there, even as late as August.
Yeah.
Phelps and you seem to believe the feds were still coming.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I don't even want to say like,
yeah,
Phelps still might not, like, I don't think Phelps has ruled out that Karen Reed is guilty yet either. I think you're going to have to listen to the rest of the podcast, right?
Oh my God. Listen to this crook. Just listen. Like, that's his whole, just listen. You never know what the next twist will be with Matt Phelps. What's going on in his mind? What will Matt Phelps say next? I don't know. Like, bro, nobody gives a fuck about M. William Phelps. He's nobody. He jumped into this late. Nobody has heard of him before I promoted him. But ooh, what will Phelps do next? He's a free thinker. What will he say? Like, dude, you're so gay. Oh my God.
I'm just saying that the direction it was going, 𝗃𝗏𝗺 was not happy about, right?
Okay.
So no, I guess once we start something, we're going to finish it. Right. And again, he was just going for the truth. So no.
Except for an orgasm with your wife. That's the only thing. But besides that, you're right.
I guess to answer your question is, he would have finished it either, no matter what direction it was going in. And that was kind of what I had to explain to Turtle, because I'm sort of stuck in the middle. I understand why Turtle is saying, look, Matt, my audience hates this. I think I think you guys are not going to make the most money with this. My audience is not going to listen to this. And I said to him, I said, well, Turtle, you wouldn't want me to make you change your opinion and make you believe in what you believe, right? And he's like, of course not. I'm like, well, I can't do that to Phelps either. And this is what Phelps believes. So you guys are sort of both going in the opposite direction.
Yeah, so you fucked up by hooking me up with him, you fucking dolt. You're the problem. You're a bigger problem than Phelps.
And at the end of the day, I think the truth, at least in my career, it's always been the truth trumps money. And I even think that sometimes.
Except you sold. How did you sell yourself? When you sold it to me, I didn't see anything in there about like, we're going to get the truth out. All you talked about was money. We're going to make money. So much money. Who cares if it's not doing well? Money, 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 money. That's what we're going to make. Okay.
Sometimes what looks like sure money up front is more short-term money, and the long-term money, comes later. So I guess what I'm saying is time will tell. Like if Karen Reed is proven not guilty, right? Proven innocent, not even not guilty.
Wait, you don't get proven innocent, dipshit. At a trial, it's not a box. There's guilty and not guilty. Even on Auntie Bev's forms, there's only two.
And that also, other people are proven guilty or charged with killing John O'Keefe. I will go on Turtle Boy's show and apologize to him and take shit for 3 hours.
Oh, no, you're not invited. We're going to just shit on you anyway. And she's going to be found not guilty. It's going to happen. And the fact that you don't understand that shows how retarded you are. But you do think she's not guilty, which is why you sucked my dick while I was in jail. Because you know that I'm right and Karen Reed's completely innocent.
If that's the case, and I tried to keep Turtle Boy involved in this as much as I could. And as long as we could, I didn't want Turtle Boy to leave the project. The problem was he just kept getting angrier and angrier.
Yeah, you didn't want me to leave the project because Turtle Boy's the goose that laid the golden egg. You ain't shit without me. Shit. Now you got Plevin.
And making it more personal and complaining constantly. And I just told him, I'm like, look, you can feel free to go on your show and bash the show bash the podcast as much as you want. I'm not trying to censor you with that. Just try and do it in what I call like a professional and civil way. Don't make it like a personal attack. And he kept personally attacking Phelps. And, obviously he's been personally attacking me, and that's just his style. And then Turtle will get on the phone with me and be like, Matt, that's just my style. That's what I do. And I'm like, I get it.
It's not style.
Right. But sometimes you almost feel like he tricks you into almost thinking like he doesn't even believe it and it's all bullshit, and it's just his act. But then, he'll tell you, no, that's all I'm going to do, Matt. It's free speech. I'm just going to look, if I think he's a coward, I'm going to say he's a coward because he's blocking his comments. And I'm like, dude, he's always blocked his comments because he just puts it out there as like an advertisement. He's not like a social media guy. And
so he's always been a coward. Okay.
And honestly, why would he open his comments when it's just going to be 20 people saying what an asshole you are because you don't agree with Turtle Boy?
Right.
So what? You're a fucking big shot. You're a public figure, right? You can't take a little criticism? Like what? So you're a coward. And again, there's no personal attacks. Calling you a coward, that's what you were. You're a fucking coward. Like, what do you want me to say?
Right. So, it's not really a fun conversation.
This is the guy saying you can't. Phelps is just sharing his opinions, and I'm sharing mine. He's crapping on me on the podcast, so I'm going to crap on him on my Twitter account. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? What a pussy.
A style or a stick might have been like an early 90s shock jock or something like that. That's
I even said to him, I'm like, dude, you can even do like a Morton Downey type of show. So that's what you're trying to do.
Oh, I can.
Do it, or you want to be Opie and Anthony or Howard Stern, whatever. There's a way to bash the podcast without, Phelps has done nothing personal to you.
He's done nothing personal to you. Yeah. Besides aligning with the McAlberts. Yeah. But besides that, it's just professionally. Right.
Got nothing personally against you. None of this is, we're not doing this to hurt you or to embarrass you or, this is just the facts where the facts of the case have gone.
You don't have the ability to hurt me or embarrassing. You're embarrassing yourself. You guys can't embarrass me. Nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody's downloading your podcast. I'll be fine at the end of this. You're embarrassing yourself.
And I think I can't argue facts and truth.
You guys didn't understand what you were getting in bed with, though, because it's not like I was trying to say. It's not just a style. This is what they do is anybody that they can't force to parrot their opinion, they will do anything they can to destroy them. They'll fabricate things. They'll dig into.
Well, I've gone against like when I was doing the documentary. We were really going after much more powerful people in Hollywood than are going on in this situation. So this isn't really my first, go around with this type of thing. And I think over time it'll just go away and life goes on. I mean, I don't think Twitter is real life. You sort of learn to block it out, especially if you believe in what you're doing for the right reasons. And you almost have to sort of feel sorry for some of these people because they just, they truly embarrass themselves. But then some of them cross the line, and if they do, then you're gonna have, we'll have to file police reports for harassment, or if we have to file defamation cases, then we will.
Right.
But hopefully these people see over time. I even have friends.
What?
Or I don't know, but like my old
You're gonna file a police report? Go ahead, call the cops on me. Call the cops on me. Do it. File a defamation case against me. Let's see how that goes. Do it. Give it a shot.
babysitter I grew up with. She's like in this free Karen Reed movement, and I know who she is as a person, And it's almost like sometimes I feel like these people have just been, I think it's more of like what's going on, and it's not even the case itself. It's just sort of how it makes them feel, right? And even she got wrapped up in it. But I mean, I don't hold that against her. And I think a lot of these people are going to come out of this who act crazy about it, really embarrassed at the end of the day. Let's because I mean, I even said to Turtle Boy, I was like, he can't even fathom, except I'm like, if Karen Reed is guilty, and it's clear that she's guilty, and you've seen the evidence that she's guilty.
It's clear that
are you gonna regret any?
It's clear that she's guilty. Oh my God, he's fucking retarded. Like, this guy really thinks this is gonna end. I am so embarrassed I ever had anything to do with this fucking loser. Holy shit, what a fat fuck loser. I mean, his mail order bride looking wife. Oh,
any of this? Are you gonna feel like she lied to you, or she played you, or no? I mean, I think his whole thing is, if she's found guilty, he's gonna be outside the prison riding free Karen Reed for the next 20 years.
It's an injustice.
I think that's and I believe him. I believe that's what he'll do. Whether he's doing it for the right reasons or not, I don't know. But and what can you do when you run into that type of fanaticism?
Yeah, you try to fight the right
Of
fight.
course he supported.
When Matt reached out to me, because I guess I was.
He supported Karen Reed up until the point when Matt Phelps said he didn't. Like, that's it. He will do whatever Phelps says, period. That's it. That's his whole belief system. He really liked me. He liked the content. He agreed she's innocent. And then Phelps said she wasn't. And so now he's changed his mind. We're so impressed that your experience hasn't educated you enough to build the minimal amount of common sense that it takes to realize Karen. Exactly. It's common sense that Karen Reed is innocent.
Was literally the only person from the other side that was willing to talk, because people are afraid of this social.
Oh, well, that's really the main reason I wanted to come on here.
Listen to this.
We've gotten so many emails from so many people who have just thanked us for this, and who have been so afraid to talk.
Oh
and,
my God.
it's amazing. And those things just keep you going.
So who's we? Who's we? Why are you and Phelps an entity? Oh, Julie Carpenter sent her an email saying, "Oh, I really like your podcast." So it's great. Yeah, totally.
And also from just a lot of different people who live in the community, in all walks of life. And I think this is the type of thing that and I want to tell those people, nothing's going to happen to you if you speak out on the internet. Like, sure, they might come after you, but if there's hundreds and thousands of you out there, there's more of you out there who want to talk about this and think, she's guilty, then I think there are people who think she's innocent. I just don't.
What? There's more people out there who think she's guilty than think she's innocent. It's like, has he been paying attention to any of this? Look on any poll, Court TV, Lawyer, Emily D. Baker, Law and Crime. These are not Turtle Boy channels. These are random fucking channels with huge subscriber bases that put up polls asking, do you think Karen Reed's innocent, not guilty, or guilty? And it was over 90% every time said not guilty. And this guy's just suddenly figured it out. I can't with the stupidity.
Don't think they're as vocal, or they care as much. This isn't a major part of their daily life. So a lot of people are just like, okay, I'm just not gonna say anything, And I think
it's a real fear, though, Matt, because I've talked to
the definite fear. There's been a lot of people
quite a few lawyers, including prosecutors, that were afraid to get involved in this case because of Turtle Boy's blog.
And that's where I think those people are pathetic. Those people are weak and they lack courage, and they should quit their jobs. Because if they're going to allow someone to use X as an avenue for witness intimidation and silencing of free speech, and they're not doing their job. They're letting I mean, you could argue.
Wait, what?
One has to.
That were afraid to get involved in this case because of Turtle Boy's blog.
Who's not?
And that's where I think those people are pathetic. Those people are weak and they lack courage, and they should quit their jobs.
They're weak and pathetic, and they should quit their jobs. First of all, he's saying that. I got to play that one more time.
Because if they're as vocal, or they care as much, this isn't a major part of their daily life. So a lot of people are just like, okay, I'm just not gonna say anything, And I think
it's a real fear, though, Matt, because I've talked to
the definite fear. There's been a lot of people
quite a few lawyers, including prosecutors, that were afraid to get involved in this case because of Turtle Boy's blog.
And that's where I think those.
So prosecutors were afraid to get involved in this. Prosecutors like Greg Connor and every other ADA in Michael Morrissey's office who didn't want to take on this case not because they're afraid of me. Picture them. They have all the guns. They're not afraid of me. They just don't want to participate in it because it's a sham and it's embarrassing. But listen to the big tough guy here. What did the big tough guy say?
Those people are pathetic.
Oh,
those people
pathetic.
are weak and they lack courage and they should quit their jobs.
Weak and pathetic and lack courage. Meanwhile, Phelps literally calls up Valentinas crying when I say mean things about him on Twitter. Like that is fucking hilarious. Like, they lack courage. You turn your replies off. You block everyone. Are you fucking like?
Because
wow.
if they're going to allow someone to use X as an avenue for witness intimidation and silencing of free speech,
what?
And they're not doing their job. They're letting you could argue
use X.
One has to ask: is 𝗃𝗏𝗺 using X for witness intimidation? Is 𝗃𝗏𝗺 trying to taint the jury pool? Is 𝗃𝗏𝗺 Karen Reed's mouthpiece?
Oh my God. He's just like, he just snapped out of it. Like he loved me. And then all of a sudden it's like 𝗃𝗏𝗺 is bad witness intimidation. You're like, oh my God, dude, what a fucking useless piece of shit. Valentinas, dude, you're done. You're done. I don't know what your reputation was like this before this. You're never going to get work again. You're done. Your name, like my article is going to come up and people are going to realize what a gigantic pussy you are. And I'm writing another article on you with your latest meltdown on Twitter. That's going to be even worse, dude. You think, oh my God. Okay.
We talk about that. We're talking about someone who could be a murderer. And because she's a female and because some people think she's attractive and she's young and she's smart and sophisticated, they think it's okay. But what I would say is if this was a mob boss in the same exact position and the mob boss was on trial for killing a police officer, and then the mob boss was feeding information to somebody, was feeding addresses of witnesses and was feeding grand jury information to somebody to then use on the internet to intimidate the public, the press, the police, and potential jurors. The FBI and the state police would be all over it. But
the FBI is all over it. They're on Karen's side. Like what? The state police are all over it. They sent me to jail. You sent me a love letter when I was in there. What? Witness intimidation? What the fuck?
Because I think they kind of lost the court of public opinion so quickly that many of them just pussied out, especially our media. I mean, our media is pathetic right now. So many of them are just riding the fence. They're happy to report, okay, 𝗃𝗏𝗺 went to court today. 𝗃𝗏𝗺 received these charges, but that's about it. No one's looking into, why isn't anyone looking into the charities? How legal?
Wait, hold on. First of all, I agree that all the media did was say that I got charged with witness intimidation. They never actually broke down the charges and what I'm charged with. They would realize how baseless they were if they actually did that. I've been begging them to for quite some time. But now, listen, this guy, Mr. Tough Guy, all of a sudden, Mr. Media is not doing their job. Meanwhile, you're literally carrying the water for the government right now. That's what you're doing, is just going along with what the government is telling you. That's it. You're not following the facts. You're doing what daddy government tells you to do. And now listen to this.
So many of them are just riding the fence. They're happy to report, okay, 𝗃𝗏𝗺 went to court today. 𝗃𝗏𝗺 received these charges, but that's about it. No one's looking into, why isn't anyone looking into the charities? How legal is a charity? Where's that money going? Where did that money come from? Is all that money legit money? Has any of that money been laundered? Has that money been spent correctly? Who received that money?
He's talking about Karen Reed's legal defense fund. Has any of that? Oh my God, this is what he thinks should happen.
These things are charities, right now. So many of them are just riding the fence. They're happy to report, okay, 𝗃𝗏𝗺 went to court today. 𝗃𝗏𝗺 received these charges, but that's about it. No one's looking into, why isn't anyone looking into the charities? How legal is a charity? Where's that money going?
It's not a charity, dipshit. Okay, so it's called the Fundraiser. It's an account through a website called 𝗃𝗄𝗃. And yeah, you can look into it. The money is all going directly to Alan Jackson. Karen Reed doesn't touch the money. It goes right there, and it goes to the lawyers because that's what we're raising money for. It's called the Legal Defense Fund. It's not a charity. It's not a 501c3. You're allowed to raise money in the United States of America. I know. Yeah, I know you're really smart because you're like a lawyer or something. But you think that it should be investigated for what?
Where did that money come from?
Where'd the money come from? People just give money. Mystery solved. These guys don't know fucking anything. They know nothing.
That money legit money. Has any of that money been laundered?
Ooh,
has that money been spent correctly?
Oh yeah, it's been laundered. Yeah, we laundered it through cartels or some shit. Like what the fuck? Oh my God.
Receive that money.
This guy's
these things,
Plevin.
not one newspaper has done anything about it. And the reason they haven't is because they just don't want to deal with it. They just don't want to deal with getting shit from _𝗃𝗏𝗺's followers. So you have to give _𝗃𝗏𝗺
Or it's retarded and baseless. Perhaps that.
credit for creating this. That's another aspect of, I don't want to say what attracted me to this, but you could argue he's created a new business venture that's sort of,
yeah, why can't you,
unless it's corrected, that, witness intimidation can be back in business.
Oh,
that's right. This is why this model has to be defeated now.
Yeah,
Obviously, the stakes are very important when it comes to justice for the victim or for Karen. It's hugely important.
Well, our system is entirely failing us right now because they are afraid. Also because of incompetence.
Phelps is
also because of just a terrible initial prosecution. I actually know Hank Brennan. I had the pleasure of meeting
Listen
Hank,
to this. Listen to this.
On the 𝗺𝗍𝗺𝗺 documentary. And, I flew down to New York with Hank for the Today Show. And, we had a couple lunches together and I really got to know who Hank is and what motivates Hank and how intelligent Hank is and how disciplined, dedicated Hank is. And Hank is a hell of an attorney. And I think you're going to see a much better prosecution. I guarantee it. And
okay, so stop there. First of all, I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming this is a lie. Like, we looked up the 𝗺𝗍𝗺𝗺 documentary, and it has a whole outline. Obviously, Hank Brennan's in it, and he has at the end some sort of like also thank you, like he's like the 100th name listed at the bottom of it. But according to him, he flew to New York with Hank Brennan to be on the Today Show. The two of them, they went there and they had many lunches together, which, okay, I assume this is all made up, but let's just assume for the sake of argument, this is true right here, that him and Hank, they're good buddies. Why would you not bring this to my attention if you're my agent, if you're my manager? How are you not bringing it to my attention that your clients, you are good friends with the new prosecutor that is in charge of the case that your entire business and podcast revolves around? Didn't mention that? Probably, I'm guessing because it's not true, but you got to take him at his word.
Hank is only in the pursuit of justice.
Hank
wants justice for John O'Keefe, and he also wants to give Karen Read justice.
Right.
Let me give you one more question, Matt, and then we'll call it a night. What do you think about the strange involvement of the feds here?
I know, James.
I really don't know enough to say anything about that. I think that Karen used that I think she put that out to sort of, I don't know what the word is, to murky the waters. I don't know enough. I know enough to say this. So
you don't know anything. So I don't know anything. So Karen just, it's not strange that the federal government's involved in investigating the Norfolk County DA's office, or that Josh Levy told them that they have a very different take on their investigation so far. Yeah, that doesn't matter. No.
I think that if they had anything to prove anything of a conspiracy, it would have been provided and they never would have let her go to trial. I mean, I think that's clearly obvious, but they never would have let her go to trial if they knew.
Except they don't have the ability to stop her from going to trial. They can't tell the Norfolk DA's office, you have to stop now because I said so. It's not this state and federal power, this separation there. Can't do that. They did tell both parties that they can't in good faith let this go to trial. And then they gave him a 3,074-page TUI report that they believed would get any non-corrupt district attorney's office to drop the charges because it contained all those text messages and the thing about the 222 phone call and all this other shit. But then they didn't drop the charges. That's when they realized, oh shit, these guys are actually much more corrupt than we thought.
Knew she was innocent. That's just ridiculous that anybody would think otherwise.
And they were required to turn over any exculpatory evidence that they
would never let that. They would never ever let that happen. Okay, right. And I think maybe what they were investigating maybe had something to do with the _𝗃𝗺𝗺 case. Maybe it had to do something otherwise in Norfolk County unrelated to the case, but might have involved some of the people involved in this prosecution.
What?
But I don't think it's related to Karen Read at all.
Figured it out.
It's probably over, and I think whatever came about from it has come about from it. Maybe nothing came about from it.
And by the way, I know as a fact it's not actually not over. But go ahead. You know more than me, Valentine. You know more than me. It's definitely not over. But okay, sure.
Seems to be the case, although there was a lot of strange behavior by the feds. The U.S. attorney himself questioned the witnesses in the federal grand jury. That's unheard of. He used 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗺's blog as a display in which to use to ask, blown up to ask the questions, to question the witnesses, which was intimidating to the witnesses because it's blown up and they can see here's the powerful U.S. attorney using 𝗃𝗏𝗺𝗺's blog to question us, the same guy that is organizing a mob to persecute us. A lot of strange stuff, a lot more than that, but I know.
Well, so by the way, this is a story Plevin tells that at the grand jury, Josh Levy put up a picture of my articles and confronted the McAlberts with those Now I don't know if this is true. I assume Plevin just making it up, but he also talks to the McAlberts. So it is possible that, you know, Colin Albert or Jennifer McCabe was called in and Josh Levy had a picture of one of my articles up there. That's boss. If that happened, that's fucking awesome. Like, and it just shows you that like the federal government uses Turtle Boy as a legitimate news source. And this guy's like, yeah, we can't trust that. Listen to M.W. Phelps and Plevin. They have the truth. And Crusty Panties.
And unfortunately, I think we as citizens are in a position where we can't sue our government for fucking this up, both the states and the feds, right? Yeah. And they're humans, and maybe that's what they did, you know? And maybe that was part of it. Maybe they kind of fucked this up, and maybe the feds fucked this up as well.
Yeah,
we certainly know.
Yeah, maybe
they're not perfect either. I mean, I have great respect for Levy. I think he's a great attorney and a very wise man.
Oh yeah,
but you know,
I'm not so sure about that. But I mean, let's look at
not so sure about that.
So maybe we can end on this. Matt Phelps had an opportunity here, I think, but went with the truth. And I think Levy jumped in on this case, pursuing his own opportunity. We don't know exactly what, but at the end of the day, when he found nothing, he could have protected those witnesses by saying, "We found nothing. That's legal."
Or maybe he didn't.
Well, and I think that's where the judges have let us down. I think the most interesting thing to me was when you look
the judges. So Auntie Bev let them down
at the day that the judge let in Yannetti. You know, I think Yannetti was putting the motion forward on the third party defense. I mean, you know, the judge basically said, "There's no there. I'm kind of giving you guys like a break. I'm putting my faith in you that really this third party defense is bullshit. But you're promising me you're going to give me something because you gave me nothing in the motions. But I'm going to let you go forward with it." And I think that's where she made a mistake. I think she should not have let them go forward with this defense because, you know, they ended up not really bringing anything. And it proved to just be a wild ghost chase. And then then where things have also gone wrong are where the court has let Turtle Boy continue to intimidate people online.
What?
When he's sitting out on bail for witness intimidation.
Amazing.
To me, that's I don't know any other court.
How do I intimidate people online? What are you talking? The Norfolk County DA's office is just letting me get away with crimes. They're just letting, because they like me so much and they just protect me. They just let it. Here I'm doing a YouTube show and I'm intimidating. What?
We'll put up with this. And I can't believe that he's, you know, has not been arrested and thrown back into jail, because that's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to intimidate and silence people.
Bro, you were sucking my dick 5 minutes ago, and now you're saying I'm intimidating witnesses. This guy was paid to represent me.
So, you know, on the behest of Karen Reed.
At the behest of Karen Reed. Right.
Well, I mean, I had originally, even the first, you know, when I was first talking to him, the first time I was getting to know him, I was like, geez, I'm like, Turtle, the first time before he got arrested, I'm like, you're really saying and pushing a lot of things here. I'm like, dude, you're going to be arrested in a couple weeks if you keep this up. I mean,
except that never happened at all. And we have the receipts. I showed the world our entire conversation. You're literally making that up.
I've never seen the courts take the type of shit that you're saying. And he's like, no, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And that's sort of what happened to him. You know, and but look, I'll say this about Turtle Boy. The guy's got balls. He does have balls.
I do. That's right.
And you know, he's just he's, whether he's afraid or not, I don't know. I'm not in his mind. But right now he's riding it and he's thinking, they're not going to do a goddamn thing to me. No fucking way. So I'm just going to do whatever the hell I want.
Yeah, because I'm not breaking the law and the First Amendment protects me. But go ahead.
And I don't care about, you know, whether I'm violating terms of service or whether I'm violating, you know, copyright laws or whether.
He's so mad about the copyright thing. Me sharing that email. He's like, he's violating copyright laws. He's out of control.
Intimidating witnesses or whether I'm defaming anybody. No one's going to do a fucking thing. That's how he feels.
Nobody.
And right now he's getting away with it. So good for him. You know, that's on us that's on our government for letting it happen. So our government is failing us. But I just want other people out there to know we've been getting a lot of support privately. And when I've been in these situations in the past, when people are, you know, afraid to come out, usually that's the beginning. It's like, you know, it's like the crack, and then there's like a dam explodes. And whether that's in a couple of weeks or in a month or two,
I think it's just starting.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you'll see that, you know, and hopefully another thing I'd appreciate is one of the stupidest things that's been going on is with the gang stalking, as Turtle Boy has been.
Gang stalking.
Sending his minions to sort of, you know, give bad reviews to the show. And we'll talk to
sending his minions to again, I have never once sent anyone to give a bad review to the show. Okay. I've done the opposite. I've like encouraged people to download this shitty podcast. But if you do that, that's well within your rights. And maybe, just maybe, it's getting bad reviews because it sucks. That has never crossed his mind, apparently. And again, I've never asked you guys to do that. You're free to if you want to, but I've not. And he calls that gang stalking. Gang stalking, whatever that is. Gang stalking.
To the networks and get that fixed, but that takes a while.
He'll get
so
it
in the short term, if anyone is appreciative of what we're doing and does appreciate the podcast, I think it would mean a lot to Phelps if you could go there and give him some good, you know, good reviews if you think he's doing a good job. You know, that's one way I think the silent people can get out there and show some support for the podcast and for what the podcast is saying if they believe in it, and we would certainly appreciate it.
Right. That's a good idea. So, guys, if people that are still listening, if you want to balance off some of the damage that's done by his cultists, if you have listened to the podcast, 34 Fairview, and you like it, go on there and leave a good review.
Yes.
That would really help.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Anything else, Matt?
No, I just thanks for the opportunity. I just it just came up. I was sitting here at my desk, and your show came up. I try and follow most of these shows. So thanks for giving me the opportunity to come on. Phelps did pass me a message that he said, he didn't appreciate you using the emails, and he feels like you're kind of giving into 𝗺𝗏𝗺's agenda with that. So
I covered fairly, but I don't want to. There is a problem.
He's his bitch.
He's his bitch. When it comes to going over private messages, it's a big thing for me. I don't like other people leaking mine. But I thought it was an interesting article that gives you some insights into the making of the sausage, right? So, and I try to be very fair about covering both sides. But when Matt messaged me that, I made sure I at least took it off the screen and then just tried to read things without quoting.
Yeah, because we're obviously probably going to still preserve all our rights and possibly pursuing any takedown notices or potential copyright violations. Moving forward.
Ooh.
So
I haven't played any clips from the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not just speaking to you. I'm just speaking to other people out there. So just know that that's a possibility if you do spread that information. And also, it's just kind of
just know that I'm going to share your emails whenever the fuck I want to, and if you get it taken down, I would just put it right back up again, and there is nothing you can do about it. And then I will, and everyone, it's in the public domain now. Everyone, I will start a campaign to turn Phelps's emails into people's profile pictures. Just because you don't want me to. So just understand that. The more you try to stop me, the more I'm going to do it.
The big thing to do, I think. It's very similar to when there was like the fapping 5 or 6 years ago, or wherever it was, and all those girls, had their phones hacked.
What?
And it was like, okay,
what?
Are people going to look at those photos or not?
Fapping?
I think this is kind of the same thing. I don't think there's really anything in those emails that you probably didn't get from me right here on this phone call. Or you could, I would have answered if someone had asked me.
So what do you?
I don't think anything in those emails really make us look bad. I just think they make Turtle Boy look horrible.
So why do you
to anyone who might consider working with him?
So why do you
in the future? I don't think anybody would ever work with him in the future.
Well, if that's the case, you have nothing to worry about because it was on his website. So so if it makes him look bad, I'm just putting out something that he put out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's just I thought he was sort of, he's 40, 41, 42 years old.
42.
But like you said, it's my fault. I should have. I guess I didn't know what I was getting into to the degree I did, and that's my fault, and that's on me. But we'll see this podcast through to the end, and at the end of the day, I think it's going to be an amazing podcast. I think it already is, but I think it gets even like the ending in this is just the last couple episodes are amazing, and it really starts to come together. And I think it's going to lead to a lot of other things, and I think it's also going to inform some of the other projects that come along. And there could even be additional things that grow off of this podcast. We haven't decided yet.
Okay. All right. Well, sounds good. Thank you for coming on and explaining. You're welcome to come on anytime. And I know it's late, but thank you for staying up. Appreciate it, Matt. And good talk.
All right. Yeah. So I had to play that. It's been a long night, but I had to play that. He's having a freaking meltdown on Twitter. Check him out. It's been fun to watch. I could share all his Twitters, but then we'll be here all night. And I just want to read a couple turtle chats to end this night up. I don't want to miss anyone here. We got Lally's missing chair back. Sends $10, goes, even if Karen Reed said she hit something to her father at the hospital, she was obviously talking about hitting John's car in the driveway, as she told Jenny that morning as well. What's the big deal? Exactly. Even if she told her dad that she ran John over with her car, it wouldn't fucking matter because the ARCA experts say that she didn't. Case dismissed. That's it. Desiree sends $35 and says, haha, Spanky, I'm way behind in the stream, but yeah, he needs to shut the fuck up until he catches up, quote unquote, for his own dignity. Valentinas too. P.S. I love you forever anyway, but Meredith seems to be good for you. She's great. You're proving you made all the right moves. Much love. Well, thank you very much, Desiree. You're too sweet. Thank you. Brenda sends $5 and goes, Phelps is the kid in grammar school that would have gotten thrown in the dumpster at recess. Free the closet toddler and free Turtle Boy. Well, thank you very much. I agree. Okay. David Cornish sends $25, goes, happy Thanksgiving, Karen and all. You too, Rita. You are recognized in California. Okay. Thank you for all you have done. Appreciate that, David. Canton Restoration sends $10, goes, will Canton High be able to field a team on Thursday? I don't see why they wouldn't, but thank you very much. Susan Y sends $25, goes, hi, Big Daddy, Dr. A. Timothy. I missed the backstory. If it's quick for you to tell, how did Kevin become Plevin? Free Turtle Boy, free Kearney. I don't think there is a backstory. The Glare just started calling him that, and it's stuck. I kind of like it. I kind of like the name Plevin. That's a good name. I like that. Okay. All right. Anyone have anything else? Do we have any turtle chats here? I don't think we do. Or any cash apps? Now it looks like we're good. All right, cool. Anyone got anything in the chat to share? It's been a long show. But anyway, we still got it's freaking almost 1 a.m. We got 4,000 people here. What a freaking show. What? I mean, these shows get longer and longer, but they're great. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I right? It's been good content tonight. So anyway, I'm going to call it a night, and I will see you guys all. No sex cult this week because we got Thanksgiving. We got Buffalo Chicken Dip Day. And we will see you guys all this weekend for the next episode of the live show. Peace, Starter Riders.